He's in the D as I leave.
A live look at the Homestead-Miami Speedway in what is now booming Homestead, Florida. This aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. In 1992, Hurricane Andrew devastated so much of this area. You remember the footage, just totally nasty conditions, the storm destroying so many people's homes and businesses. Shortly after, local race promoter Ralph Sanchez was looking for a place to build a speedway. And the city leaders of Homestead were looking for an economic engine to help spur the area's rebuilding. They got together, and in 1995, the Speedway was born. Started out as a mile-and-a-half version of Indianapolis. In '97, they remade the corners into a more oval shape, and then in 2003, put this banking in that has really made this place a venue that the racers truly enjoy coming to today. 18, 19, and 20-degree banking in those corners. How's it affect the racing?
Oh, Anna, it's made the racing so much better at this racetrack. It's unreal. I'll guarantee you in tonight's race, you're going to see side-by-side racing all around this racetrack. They're going to run the bottom, the middle, the top, and why are they going to do that? Because they can do it now. They couldn't do it in the past. But you're going to see a lot of momentum, guys, off the corners. A lot of teams running high on the racetrack. A lot of the drivers, shooting down that straightaway. And Brad, it has really fixed up this track.
Yeah, it really has, Rusty. I came here in 1996 and brought my truck team here, and we walked into this place with these big flat corners. We said, how in the world are we going to get these trucks to stick? They did. We won the race that day. But I'll tell you, it made for some boring racing because guys couldn't drive in the corner. You give Rusty Wallace 20 degrees of banging and 800 horsepower, it's on, baby.
I get her done, baby. I'm going to do it. I'm out of retirement. That's it. I'm coming back.
You heard it here first.
We'll
see if that's changed before he gets to the booth. We're going to send you out of here now, get you upstairs to call the race. Appreciate your time.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right,
While Rusty gets unstrapped and gets headed up for his second seat, let's hear to a guy who's about to strap into a race car. Jeff Burton is with Mike Massaro.
And he has certainly seen the evolution of this racetrack over the years. How would you compare the racing now at Homestead-Miami Speedway to the way it was when this place first opened?
Well, I think the quality of racing for the race fan is way better than it used to be. A lot of grooves, run the bottom, run the top, run in the middle, all over the place. So I think the quality of racing is way better.
Today we see an end of an era as Anheuser-Busch says goodbye to the Busch Series. I mean, you're a guy who graduated from the Busch Series, went on to bigger things in Nextel Cup. What has this series meant to guys like yourself?
Well, the Busch Series has been a huge opportunity for a lot of drivers to take their career to another level. You know, when you go run a Busch race and you run well, that's different than running well at a late model race or some other form of racing, because you have the opportunity to compete against the Cup guys, compete against Cup car owners. They get to watch you. And I think that's a huge advantage. It's harder to do well in this series because of the Cup involvement, but when you do well, you are immediately have a chance to run the Cup Series. So it's kind of a catch-22, but this series is responsible for putting a lot of great drivers in our sport.
And Alan, Jeff Burton certainly one of them. 26 victories in the Busch Series so far, and maybe counting today.
We will watch. He's got some work cut out for him, though. He's going to start back in 30th place today, Mike. This Homestead-Miami Speedway is a mile-and-a-half track. Yeah, I got a lot of mile-and-a-half tracks on the circuit, but to a crew chief, this place is a whole different animal. And for more on that, we go to our Chevy Cutaway car and our crew chief, Tim Brewer.
Here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, completely different mile-and-a-half racetrack, say for Charlotte, Texas, Atlanta, 16 miles an hour difference in speed. Crew chief, we treat it as a big short track. What we're going to put emphasis on, soft springs in the front, stiff springs in the rear. Gets the nose down, gets the back end up, optimum downforce. Back to handling. We treat it as a short track, so we put a lot of emphasis on getting down in the corner, turning through the center of the corner, accelerating off. Long straightaways doesn't mean anything here. Means handling is a premium here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Cutaway Car is brought to you by Chevy, the most wins in NASCAR history and American Revolution.
Closing in on the start of today's Ford 300, 22 minutes from the green flag. David Reagan is the man who's going to lead him to the green. He won the pole earlier today.
NASCAR Busch Series Countdown, brought to you by Bank of America. Bank of America invites you to open a NASCAR banking account, including checks, check card, and credit card. Visit your local Bank of America banking center for more information. Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
Getting set to go for today's season finale for the NASCAR Busch Series. Casey Mears, Casey Kane, who's that? Jamie McMurray on the left, all getting ready, 19 minutes away from the green flag. Talking about David Reagan, going to lead the field to the start. He is with Dave Burns.
And we are motoring down pit road toward his race car, which he's now for the second time this year the fastest qualifier. David, what was the key to being the quickest here today and qualifying earlier?
Well, I think just having a good car when you're out there by yourself, if you have a car that's capable of going fast, that means a lot. Our discount tire Ford handled pretty well, and it's good to have someone like Carl Edwards, your teammate, go out just a few spots in front of you. Always listen in on his radio, and was the track good or bad? So that probably gave me a little bit of extra confidence.
Now, when you won the pole earlier at Texas, crew chief Mike Kelly misread his stopwatch after your first lap by about a second and was so disappointed, then elated that you'd won the pole at Texas. How do you read his stopwatch this time?
He just said, pole, we're good, come on in. That's a big thing. You don't want to run a great first lap and wreck the car or do something crazy your second lap. So it's good to have, someone like Mike Kelly on the other end of the radio telling me what to do and what not to do. So, we've been good in practice, qualified well. The next thing is just racing good. I've got to get out here and, learn the track, move around a little bit. Sometimes the bottom groove's good, sometimes the top groove is. So we'll hopefully have some good pit stops today, and hopefully our discount tire Ford's good at the end of the race, and maybe we can come out of this thing with a win.
All right, David Reagan will start up front today in the final Busch Series race of the season. Shannon?
Well, that's right, Dave. Final Busch Series race. A lot of drivers are getting a head start on the 2008 season, including Casey Mears. He'll be working with Alan Gustafson, your crew chief for 2008 today for the first time in race conditions. What are you guys hoping to accomplish today?
Just getting a little time, and just try to figure out maybe some of the little things that we got to work in the off season. And so far things have been going well, and the National Guard Chevrolet's running good. I'm hoping to have a good night. The biggest thing is just get a little head start on the communication and find out, like I said, a lot of those little things that we need to fine tune over the off season.
Now, what are your goals for next season? You won a race this year. Alan's been successful. What are your goals as a team?
I mean, our biggest goal is to make the chase, and I think that this year, if we wouldn't have got off to such a rough start, we would have had that opportunity. And obviously, the 5 teams done a good job the last few years, and the opportunity is there to make it. So we just got to find out what we got to do to do that.
All right, well, good luck to you tonight. Casey Mears rolls off 9th, guys.
Shannon, thanks. Now time for What to Bank On, brought to you by Bank of America. We think today you can bank on seeing the Richard Childress 2019 claim the Busch Series Owners Championship.
I believe once they flip the switch out, it is all but wrapped up, baby.
All they have to do is start the race, and they claim that owner's title, which will be the 4th for owner Richard Childress. You see the points starting today, 194, 161's the maximum swing. So as long as they are in the race today, they are a champion team on the owner's side. That's a big feather for RC.
Absolutely. It locks them in the top 30 into next year's field, so that means that they can get their sponsorship dollars together and go to Daytona with a product that their sponsors are going to be proud of.
Got a follow-up from Phoenix. Matt Kenseth's team penalized, a 10-grand fine for crew chief Drew Blickensderfer, and 25 points taken away after the race driver and owners for their right rear quarter panel being too high. That means Mike Wallace is back inside the Busch Series drivers' top 10 starting this race, just a little bit over Kenseth. Mike would certainly like to end the season in the top 10 and get a spot on the stage at the banquet in Orlando in a few weeks. And Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team announcing here on Friday that Brad Keselowski and the U.S. Navy recruiting effort will both return to his team for the 2008 season. Congratulations to them. Keselowski will start in 27th place today. So have Richard Childress trying to lock up an owner's championship about 10 minutes from now when they wave the green flag, getting some congratulations in on his team. Brad's been a great Busch Series season and got a great race still to come.
Alan, looking forward to this race today. It's been a lot of fun working with you, and everybody's worked so hard. We're looking for a great finish today.
I give you somebody to watch. Jeff Burton starting way in the back of the field. We'll see if he can finish up front. Time to go trackside for the opening ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your hats as the United States Coast Guard Honor Guard presents our nation's colors. Now, will you please welcome Pedro Garcia as he offers today's invocation.
Well, let's pray. Father, we do thank you once again for bringing us here to the beautiful Homestead-Miami Speedway for this, the final race of the Busch Series. We pray for the protection of all the drivers. We thank you for the gifts you've given to them. We pray that your mighty and strong hand would guide them as they go through this track. God, I pray for their family, their friends, their crew chiefs, all the officials for their safety. And Father, we do pray for these, the finest fans in all of sports. We pray that you would bless us as we'd enjoy this. And Lord, we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, whom you sent to die for us, that we that would believe in him would have life and life to the full. We love you. We thank you. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And now, will you please remain standing and welcome lead singer of Kilroy, Carol Smith, as he performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free, and the home of the brave.
Well, it's time to go racing one more time in 2007. They called the first green flag of the Busch Series season at Daytona in February. They'll call the final checkered flag today at Homestead. Upstairs to Dr. Jerry Punch, Rusty Wallace, and Andy Petrie.
Thank you very much, Alan. And take a look at the point standings. One race to go. We've already crowned a series drivers champion and really tied 7 points separating Harvick and Leffler back in third. Take a look at Matt Kenseth. Only 14 points back between Kenseth trying to get in the top 10. Mike Wallace, a full-time Busch Series competitor, trying to hang on. Hello, everyone. Along with the champions, Rusty Wallace, Andy Petrie, I'm Jerry Punch. Glad to have you with us for the 35th and final race of the $50 million NASCAR Busch Series Tour. Guys, we've already crowned a driver's champion. We're going to crown an owner's champion. So it's not about points. It's about people. And, Rusty, if you're a driver in this field, what's going through your mind now in this finale here tonight?
Well, Jerry, to me, I've got one last chance to get it done. This is the last race of the year, and some of these new drivers and some of the older drivers that haven't won this year, hey, they want to get it done. They want to get it done here. They want to have a good Christmas and a good New Year's, have something to talk about.
And from the guys that have never won to a guy that's won more Busch Series races than anybody on the circuit, Mark Martin. I talked to him down there on the grid, and he wants to win this race real bad, the last Busch Series race, and he's got a good hot rod to do it with.
4 of the 6 winningest drivers in NASCAR Busch Series history are in this race tonight, folks. How bad does Mark Martin want to win? He hasn't won this year. Harvick is a 6-time winner. Burton has won. Kenseth has won. That kind of talent should be fun to watch. Back with the start in just a moment.
Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, where today the NASCAR Busch Series will run 200 laps, 300 miles, and for the last time will be called the Busch Series. So, what do you do when it's the end of an era? What do you do when it's the end of a season? What's the best way to reward everyone? Well, you throw a big party, and that's what they're going to do here. These 43 drivers trying to show one more time why NASCAR is so popular and so much fun. And think about this field. 5 champions in this field, including the newly crowned Carl Edwards. How about the 60 car, possibly with another victory today? Mark Martin in this field saying that driving for Rick Hendrick in the Busch Series was part of a fulfillment of his career. He will run his final time with Hendrick here. So all these drivers wanting to run well today, wanting to do a good job. Your owner's champion, Jeff Burton, still in the field, and we will see how they do today as we go upstairs. Doc?
Race fans, are you ready? The time is now. Please welcome Ford Motor Company Regional Sales Manager Kevin Giacomini for those most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Kids, go ahead and fire up. Crank them up, guys. Crank it. Far and home. Yep, 10-4. Thanks for the great car, guys. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the hard work back at the shop. All right, got it. All right, guys. Just have a good time. Let's keep doing what you've been doing.
43 of NASCAR's finest NASCAR Busch Series drivers set to bring down the curtain on the 26th and final season. Anheuser-Busch is a sponsor of the series, the NASCAR Busch Series. Front row, a couple of Ford drivers. How about a rookie, 21-year-old David Reagan, and a champion, newly crowned champion Carl Edwards will lead him down. Now, while you watch and see where your favorite driver will start, let's visit with our in-race reporter, the car number 17. Of course, that is Matt Kenseth driving the Dish Network Ford. Matt starts back in 13th position.
Hey, Matt, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us? Matt, Rusty Wallace, you got us?
Got you, Rusty.
Hey, Matt, you won this race last year. Man, you've been great on these mile-and-a-half racetracks, but hey, this race starts during the day, and it's going to end at night. What's that going to do to your car here?
Well, usually it tightens up just a little bit. It's been a little freer during the day, and it seems like to be good here for long run. You got to be kind of loose at the beginning of the run to be any good at the end. So I think we got a pretty good car here, Drew, and these guys have been doing a great job. So hopefully it'll do what we need it to when it gets dark.
I tell you what, this track has got progressive banking. So where do you think you're going to do most of your passing at? I mean, a lot of people love this racetrack.
It's great since they redone it. So I don't know. It seems like the preferred groove sort of the middle. So last year we found it a little easier for our car the way it was handling to run up on the top, and we made most of our passes up there. And but if your car's tight, you can't run up there. So if your car's nice and loose, you can kind of run to the middle of the top. If it's tighter, you got to run a little lower. So your car dictates a lot of it.
All right, buddy, have a great race. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks a lot.
Well, the man who called the shots for Matt Kenseth's 2 wins this year, crew chief Drew Blickensturfer. Let's visit with Drew.
Hey, Drew, Andy Petrie up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Andy.
Hey, Drew, we heard Matt talking about the racetrack changing a little bit as it transitions into the darkness. What kind of adjustments will you guys make down there, or are you prepared to make on these pit stops to keep up with that?
Honestly, Andy, we spent a lot of our time yesterday in practice during the evening session, getting the car right for the darkness. And afterwards, we sat down and talked to, we know that the end of the race is the most important one. So we're going to leave our car pretty much like that here for the start and do some air pressure things. See if we can get it to run a little better in the daylight. But we expect the car to run a lot better at dark.
10-4, what about tire wear? How's this track on tire wear?
Honestly, unlike most of the mountain house we go to, the tires seem to wear here a little bit. So tires will probably be important there at the end of the race.
10-4, you guys have good luck out there.
Thank you.
Matt Kenseth, one of 4 drivers who have won here before in the starting field tonight. Matt, who won this race a year ago from 5th starting spot. Our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series Ford 300 at Homestead-Miami being brought to you by Ford F-150, built Ford tough. By FreeCreditReport.com. Stay on top of your credit score and credit report at FreeCreditReport.com. And by Allstate, the official insurance sponsor of NASCAR. Welcome back to the Ford 300 NASCAR Busch Series season finale at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Cars have rolled off behind the safety car. To update you on some of the stories we'll be following here tonight, let's head down to the pits. First, here's Shannon Spake.
Well, Doc, a big congratulations to the 29 team, and that's because all Jeff Burton has to do is start the race, take the green flag, and that team will win the Owners' Championship here in the Busch Series. Now, you may be asking yourself, didn't Carl Edwards just win the championship 2 weeks ago? And the answer is yes. But we have an Owners' Championship and a Drivers' Championship in the Busch Series. And this is only the second time in the Busch Series history that both titles will not go to the same team. So while Carl Edwards has bragging rights in the driver's side, it's the 29 team as a whole who will be celebrating the championship tonight. Jamie?
Well, Shannon, although that Drivers' Championship and Owners' Championship are wrapped up, there's plenty more to race for today, especially if you're hovering in that top 10 in points. Why? Because it's only the top 10 in the points who get invited to the annual Busch Banquet in 2 weeks in Orlando, Florida. So how close are those points? Well, 8th to 11th are separated by just 57 points. So who's the odd man out? It's our in-race reporter, Matt Kenseth. Thanks to a rules infraction last weekend where they found his right rear quarter panel to be too high, he was docked 25 points and knocked out of the top 10. So can he race his way back into the top 10 and go celebrate in 2 weeks? We'll find out in 200 laps. Let's go to Mike Massaro.
Jamie, for a number of years, the marketing slogan for Busch Beer was, head for the mountains. And after today, in a figurative sense, that's what they'll do. Today marks the 803rd and final Busch Series race, and during a 26-season journey, they've crowned 19 different champions and have contributed over $18 million to the point fund. Today, there are 43 drivers in today's field, and like the Clydesdales that have stood symbolic of Anheuser-Busch over the decades, each one of these drivers wants to show that they have the horses to win the final Busch Series race. Doc?
Mike, what a great relationship it has been from to the second highest, most watched motorsports series in America, the NASCAR Busch Series, for 26 years now. What about the rookie pole sitter, David Reagan? Guys, he's not on the inside of row one. He's on the outside.
NASCAR rule that's been in place forever is that the pole sitter has a choice of whether he starts on the inside or the outside. Rarely do we see this used, but at this racetrack, the way this track's shaped, David Reagan chose the outside lane here. He thinks that's an advantage on this start, and we'll see how it works for him.
And Andy, I thought they could only do that on a road course, but I found out this weekend that, you know, this track has got so much momentum on the top side and creates so much speed that, hey, they want to go on the outside. NASCAR says, fine, that's been legal. I didn't know that. That's an amazing story.
If I'm lined up beside Carl Edwards, I need every advantage I can get there, right up beside the current champion. Onboard cameras, high-definition coverage tonight. How about Mike Wallace starting 32nd in the Geico Chevy? Matt Kenseth, we already talked about our Dish Network Ford, starts 13th. He's our in-race reporter. Denny Hamlin starts 22nd in the Rockwell Automation Chevy. Kevin Harvick, 4th in the AutoZone Chevrolet. Jeff Burton starts back in 30th. Won't be there very long, folks, in the Holiday Inn Chevy. Carl Edwards outside front row in the Scotts Ford. Bobby Labonte, former Busch and Cup champion, 23rd in the Dollar General Chevrolet. And the 99 car, David Rudiman, starts 17th in the Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota. Couldn't ask for a more perfect day weather-wise. Sun setting at Homestead-Miami. Sun sets on the NASCAR Busch Series season. 300 miles, 200 laps. Pit road speed 45 miles an hour. There's the pit window. Progressive banking, Rusty. That means that there's a lot of different degrees of banking depending upon where you are on the track.
They're going to run all over this racetrack, Jerry. Pass in the middle, the bottom, the top. It's going to be one exciting race because of that.
Pace car about to pull away. Folks, you've been with us all year long. We said thanks for joining us in Daytona. We kicked off the season with an exciting finish when Kevin Harvick just held on. What's going to happen in the finale? Drivers trying to win their first race. Some of the winningest drivers in NASCAR Busch Series history. Glad to have you with us. We bring down the curtain on the NASCAR Busch Series as the green flag waves at Homestead.
Man, take a look at the start of this race, guys. I mean, you look at Carl Edwards. He just shot to the bottom of the racetrack and said, hey, I'm going to get it down on the bottom. David Reagan can have the top, and right now Reagan's stuck on the top and about to get passed by 2 other cars.
That move didn't work for him like he thought it was going to do. And Carl Edwards just got a great jump on him, got down to the bottom of the racetrack, and Reagan just couldn't use that momentum off turn 2 to get back by him.
You see, they go sailing into the shadows in turns 1 and 2, but there's quite a bit of glare in these drivers' eyes as they come out of 4, Rusty, and come down that front straightaway.
Yeah, Jerry, about 20 more minutes, you're going to see the sun finally get out of the way, but these drivers have got to really put up with this sun right in their eyes around the start-finish line here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, and that's pretty bothersome. It's not comfortable doing that. Boy, take a look at this. The sun right in the eyes, and it's going to go away shortly here, folks. Let's stay on with the camera with it. There it goes away. But boy, for a while there, Andy, it's a really tough thing to deal with.
It is hard to deal with. I don't know how you do that. I guess you have to have a clear shield and then just try to deal with that glare until the sun goes down.
Well, it's such a short amount of time that you can deal with it. You know it's going to go away, and you're relying on your spotter and everybody to help you along with this.
So what do? Just feel your way in the corner until that happens?
You know where that car in front of you was at, and you don't press your limit right now this early in the race.
Kevin Harvick dealing with the glare pretty well. He takes a second spot away from pole sitter David Reagan. Battles all throughout. Here's a good battle back in the pack. Our in-race reporter, the 17 car, Kenseth back there, as is Casey Mears.
Mark Martin there in that 5 car. Man, I talked to him down there, and he is so motivated to win this race. He said he has a great race car, too. We know how good this 5 car's been.
Oh, this 5 car's been strong all year long. I mean, it's just handling good. It's really strange to see Mark Martin in this car because he's only done this a couple times this year, but gosh, he is so excited to drive for Rick Hendrick. And you know what? I guess I would be, too, with what he's feeling in the Cup Series this year.
Oh, trouble on the racetrack.
Oh, Bobby Labonte.
First caution of the day, Bobby Labonte in the Dollar General Chevy, the former Busch Series champion, brings it out.
Lost it, I guess.
Lap number 4 of 200, and there's the damage. And so you don't really realize how fast you're going, but this is a very quick 1.5-mile track, and when you lose some traction, you hit pretty hard.
It's not how fast you're going, it's how fast you stop. You see, he just gets up too high right there and loses the car getting in the corner.
Yeah, you heard Bobby a little bit on his radio say, I just lost it, and that's what happened. He was high on the racetrack. He just got out from underneath of him and into the wall. I hate to see that this early for anybody.
Onboard camera right along with Bobby.
Run to the bottom. Ooh, just lost it. You all right, bud?
Well, that thing just spun around him just in a heartbeat. He didn't even have a warning there, it didn't look like.
Man, we're only 4 laps in this race right now. The tire temperatures haven't even come up. The pressures haven't come up yet. And for Bobby Labonte, a seasoned veteran, man, what a tough thing to take because he knows how to get around this racetrack.
Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway here in Homestead, Florida. Beautiful sunset here in South Florida. 35th and final race of the 2007 season for the NASCAR Busch Series cars. Under caution for the first time today. The 77 car, Bobby Labonte, just losing grip up in the corner. And he tagged the wall, has gone back to the garage area. Bobby, by the way, a winner early this year at Talladega. One of 15 different drivers to go to victory lane in the NASCAR Busch Series on the season. Carl Edwards has led the first 6 laps thus far. Started on the outside or the inside of row 1. He was the second fastest qualifier. He started there and he took the lead off of turn 2. Can he hang on to it? Green flag. We'll see what Kevin Harvick can do with Edwards. Challenge back for 3rd position. He watched these cars side by side. Blaney looks to the inside of David Reagan. Meanwhile, up front, Kevin Harvick. These are the last 2 Busch Series champions. 60 car Edwards, this year's champion. 21 Kevin Harvick, last year's champion.
Well, look at that 21 car going to high side, Andy. He can do that because they got that extra banking. The progressive banking lets you get up there and get a lot of grip and a lot of momentum off the corner as he's passing them now down the front straightaway. Clears them.
Man, he just blew right by Carl Edwards. We see here Dave Blaney's run the bottom of the racetrack around the 6 car, David Reagan.
I think what you're going to see, while the tires are pretty good, they're going to try to run the bottom of the racetrack. They can run the middle, the top. And these drivers are going to do different things because the tires are taking it right now. But as they wear, I think they'll go to the top.
It is Chevy, Ford, Toyota. How about that for parity up front here in the NASCAR Busch Series? Blaney, by the way, won a pole early in the year in the Toyota. Although Toyota won it Indianapolis Raceway Park. He'd like to finish the year with a super speedway victory for Toyota. Here's the Ford of Carl Edwards, who is the newly crowned Busch champion. Look at he's down on the bottom of the racetrack, whereas Harvick is working up high.
Yeah, you see Kevin Harvick's car just moving around just a little bit. Looks like it's a little bit loose, but as this sun goes down and this track cools off, it's going to start handling better and better. And the true veterans that understand what the cars do understand that's going to happen.
Here's the veteran 29, and it's Jeff Burton, and up high above him is the second-generation driver, Steve Wallace. There's Jeff Burton. By the way, congratulations to Richard Childers, says he was now the NASCAR Busch Series Owners Champion for 2007 by virtue of starting in that 29 car. Burton and Scott Wimmer shared the car all year long. And how about a good guy for Steve Wallace to follow and learn from is one Jeff Burton.
They don't get him better than Jeff Burton. If I was Stephen Wallace, I would just latch on to his rear bumper.
As a dad, I started to say, hey, just follow that guy. He knows what he's doing. That'll teach you something quicker than anything in the world right there. Just follow the veteran.
In fact, the problem is that Stephen's car doesn't work on the bottom like that 29. He's having to go to the top of the racetrack.
Now, Steven said his car is pretty loose early in the race. He's going to have to deal with that right now, make some changes.
Okay, here's second spot. Looks like this 10 car is pretty fast right now.
Dave Blaney going by Carl Edwards to take the position away.
And what we're going to see, guys, we're going to see the handling of these cars all change. The fellas you see up front, though, these guys are veterans. They'll probably hang up the front, but a little bit farther back in the pack, you're going to see the haves and the have-nots swap it up pretty big time as this track cools down.
Dave Blaney, who began the year finishing second at Daytona, trying to end the year with a win here in the Sunshine State. Here's the 03 of Todd Bodine, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion a year ago, now making his sixth Busch start of the season. Now, we talked about the glare on these drivers as they come down the straightaway. Let's listen in to Todd Bodine's radio.
Okay, Don, while the sun is still up here, I'm not going to be able to use my mirror because of the way I got my helmet taped, so be aware of that. We must have ESPN. I was just getting ready to ask you about that sun. All right, well, you got 14 cars to pass, and you won't have to worry about your mirror, right? There you go.
Well, that's something else. I mean, not having to worry about it. Must have ESPN. We just talked about that, didn't we, Andy, about how bad the sun was down the front straightaway. But not much longer. That's going to go away, and these guys are going to be just fine.
Yeah, guys, speaking of Todd Bodine, I spoke to him earlier, and we thought, oh, hold on, got a crash.
We'll get back to you, Brad. Crash here, second caution of the day, and pretty hard contact with the back of that car on the inside wall here. Bringing out contract, that's Patrick Carpentier. And he has come across the racetrack. You see the Gillette Evernham Dodge. Heavy damage on the back of the Carpentier machine.
Just trying to get some laps here. We'll fix it there. We got to get a spoiler on it, look at everything.
Says he's got to get a spoiler on it. He's going to need a lot of help there.
A lot more than a spoiler. Might need a gas tank and rear frame section, too.
Now watch Carpentier. That's Jason Keller in the 11 car. The NASCAR Busch veteran Carpentier's car just starts to get out of shape.
And guys, we talked all year long about how aerodynamics affect the car. He just got the right side of his car up against the 11 car and just aerodynamically got loose exiting the corner. There was not enough air getting his rear spoiler, and that's what caused this accident.
That's why they have Patrick Carpentier in this race, is to get experience, get laps. This is not the kind of experience he's looking for, but he has to learn how to race these cars in close quarters like this, and he just got that firsthand right there.
In fairness to him, it's only his third ever NASCAR Busch Series start. He set on the pole and finished second at Montreal, so the learning curve pretty steep for Patrick Carpentier. Welcome back to Sunset in South Florida. Early laps here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Caution number 2 on the day. Jason Keller's car, the innocent victim there. These guys trying to get repairs on the left side of his Chevrolet. Brian and Tony Mullen on car, and here is Patrick Carpentier climbing out of his Dodge. He will call it a day here early on in only his third ever NASCAR Busch Series start. Kevin Harvick, being shown as a leader, has led the last 9 laps after Carl Edwards led the first 7. 2 winningest drivers this year in the NASCAR Busch Series. Harvick has won 6 times. He won 9 times a year ago on his way to a championship. And of course, Carl Edwards, what a year he has had, dominating the first half of the season to become the 2007 Busch Series champ. Let's see if Dave Blaney, that Toyota back in second spot, can get up there and lead some laps. How about the 24 car? Casey Mears getting a little racy. He and the 5 car, his teammate Mark Martin, starting to make some moves.
Well, Jared, they're pretty close to be able to hammer down right now, get after, because the tire pressures are up. There's some heat in the tires. They've run 17 laps, Andy. That's enough to get the car pretty stable now.
And this is the time of the race that you can gain a couple, kind of steal a couple of spots. On the restart, you drive the car down hard in the corner. You might be able to slide up in front of a couple guys here and grab a couple spots.
Lap 17 of 200 as you watch Harvick try to pull away a little bit. Let's check into the garage area where Jamie Little is caught up with a former Busch Series champion.
That's right, Bobby Labonte driving for the 21 and Kevin Harvick. Bobby, you're okay. What happened?
Well, I try not to do that very often, but I did. And try not to do it early in the race. I usually pretty careful, but I just went on the outside of the 42. We're actually going to try to go the outside of the 42. And, everybody was doing everything right, and my car was really handling okay. I mean, nothing wrong with it, and no sign of anything. And it just turned right around. So, man, I don't know if I know I just messed up, but I'm not sure why I messed up. But I hate it for all the guys, and Dollar General especially, Kevin and Elena Harvick. And, like I said, I feel pretty bad because it just kind of came around, and I wasn't really ready for that.
Hey, Dan didn't like this season, but it was a success. He won at Talladega, our oldest winner in the field at 43. Doc?
Caution on the racetrack again, and we have trouble down in turn 1. Morgan Shepherd in the car number 89. You see Morgan's car has spun around down on the edge of the gravel, and gonna have a tough time getting that car up out of there.
Yeah, here he goes. He's going to get it out of there. Good to see Morgan in this race, though. He really wanted to make this last Busch Series start. Ran a great qualifying lap to get in the field.
Morgan, a 15-time winner in the NASCAR Busch Series, one of the all-time veterans in this series, going way back to 1982. Brad?
And guys, Morgan Shepherd, like I say, has been around a long time. But the big thing about Morgan Shepherd, though, Doc, has been his charity over the years. For over 20 years, he's had that charity up in Stuart, Virginia, helping handicapped kids as well as folks in the Virginia mountains. And they continue to do it this year. And he's a wonderful, wonderful person. He gives back to his community tremendously. And this race team, guys, I don't know if you know this, every one of the crew members and the crew chief and everyone, they all donate their time for free. So this is a special, special group. And it's good to see Morgan out here competing. Hopefully get that car fixed and get back out on the racetrack.
Absolutely. He gives back so much, and a couple of weeks away from when he makes that annual visit up into the mountains of Virginia. Let's see what happened to Morgan here to bring out the caution debris.
We see some debris flying out of a car. It looked like maybe the 11 car from the damage that he had with Patrick Carpentier. It looks like Morgan may have gotten into that debris.
Well, he definitely got in that debris, Andy. I mean, that thing went flying through there, and all that. It looks like he's got a right rear flat on Morgan Shepherd's car. And I don't know what that was that flew off underneath that 11 car, but it was a ton of something.
Leader Kevin Harvick stayed out, and as did the second place car of Dave Blaney. Here's Todd Bodine in, J.J. Yaley, Stephen Wallace, and others coming down pit road as we work caution for the 3rd time today. Lap 20 of 200. Early on, Kevin Harvick, the former Busch champion, showing the way here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Welcome back to the Ford 400 aerial coverage high above Homestead-Miami Speedway, courtesy of our good friends at Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. Under caution for the 3rd time today, let's head down to the garage area and Jamie Little.
And Patrick Carpentier making his first start on an oval in a Busch car. Patrick, what happened?
Yeah, I had a good car and I got too impatient. I mean, the Stanley car was fast and I was trying to pass and I could see the guys were going away and I wanted to pass, but it was still so early in the race. I just pushed too hard and I thought we were going to be clear coming up, and he kind of stayed in the middle, and I went towards him and spun the car, so that was it.
I know you're learning a lot in a quick, short amount of time, but you're going to be in the Cup car tomorrow. Did you learn anything today that'll help you tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm really hoping I'm not going to do the same thing in the Cup car tomorrow, but just learn to be a little bit more patient. It was way too early in the race, so we'll pick it up and keep learning.
Well, patience is a virtue, and he's learning very quickly that patience pays off in a stock car, Doc.
Yeah, it's too bad to see Jason Keller kind of getting caught up in that too, because he's looking for a sponsor for next year for that 11 car, and they want to try to run all the races. They have a sponsor for a few races, but they need a full-time sponsor on this car. You can see how it's white right here.
Andy, how we doing?
If they can get something on there, they'll run the whole series.
Well, those guys are
boys,
fast
all right,
too.
boys, clear it up, clear it up.
We've seen it many times this year, really flying around the racetrack. So this team's got the speed, that's for sure.
Yeah, finished 5th at Milwaukee, and so trying to get another top 10 here today, but having trouble early on. Harvick is the leader, Blaney 2nd, Casey Kane back in 3rd, Pole sitter David Reagan 4th, Carl Edwards 5th, and but keep an eye on some of these guys that are moving up in the pack, including that 24 car of Casey Mears back in 6th spot. He's picking them off one at a time. And oh, but by the way, McMurray and Martin aren't any slouches either, right behind him in line.
Okay, here he goes again. He's looking for that spot on the inside of Carl Edwards.
Well, Mears has got a rocket.
Oh, he does. He wants to get all he can very, very quickly. The tires are fresh, they're grippy, and right now they just go. And you see he's picked up one position already by being so aggressive right off the bat.
That's what I call stealing the spot on the restart right there. You just look for that opening, take it when you can, and it's a lot easier to get it right there than it will be later when you have to kind of just inch your way by on the racetrack.
And Andy, that really agitates a driver sometimes. You're thinking, man, just be patient for a little bit, and the guy jumps out and passes you. It really makes you mad.
Oh, 3 wide. Really... Mark Martin is there on the inside, and he's trying to make the move, and right along with Denny Hamlin as he watches the battle between. Whoa, now Denny, what are you thinking here, buddy? Right in between the 5 of Martin and the 60 of Edwards.
I think Edwards might really be mad now. He's got 3 guys passing him.
Denny's thinking, I'm a veteran. I got enough talent to do this. I'm going 3 wide, even though it's only 25 laps in the race. And guys, it looks like he's going to make it happen.
Dave?
Denny Hamlin racing from the rear of the pack. In qualifying, they had tightened up the car just a little bit too much, and we got more action on the track. Doc can't get this thing started.
Richard Johns, Dave, in the 25 car and the 1 of J.J. Yaley.
This is 25. Let's spin it. Rains pit road, bud.
Oh, after Richard Johns had such a good run at Phoenix, and talk about a Phoenix native, J.J. Yaley, both these drivers pretty significant damage here in their cars here in the final race of the year.
What's going on, guys? Man, we've got this big wide racetrack with banking everywhere, and these guys keep running into each other.
They're getting too impatient, Andy. This track is so wide with 3 different lanes. They're going for it right away. Just like you said, let's get a spot now. Let's get a spot, real quick instead of being patient and settling in.
Richard Johns trying desperately to be able to get a sponsor to run this 25 car next year for Ed Renzi. Trying to be impressive here. Let's see what happened. That's Stephen Wallace on the inside, Yaley in the middle, and Johns up high.
Boy, it looks like the 1 car just gets up in the left rear quarter panel, the 24 at Johns, and, gets a little tap in the left rear, and that's all it takes when you're running close to 180 miles an hour, and that's what they're running.
And look, that's the same spot Bobby Labonte just lost it all by himself, so that track must be a little bit slick on that entry point of getting into turn 3.
Well, I really think as this race goes on, it's going to tighten up more. The track's going to get more grip, like Matt Kenseth, our in-race reporter, said earlier. He said, it's going to change, and they're ready for it.
Richard Johns so desperately wanted to get a good finish here. They had talked to a couple of sponsors in this week about being on board in 2008 for that 25 car for Renzi, and they thought they were getting close, and obviously he wanted at least a top 15 finish here, and he's run so well here in the second half of the year, but now heads down to the garage area.
Oh, yeah, Jerry, the last thing you want to have happen is go out at the very last race of the year. We've talked all day about wanting to end this year on a high note, Andy, and, when you don't, you go back home, it's miserable.
But, the sad truth is there's 43 spots out there today, and somebody's going to finish in all 43 of them.
Well, the 28 car will be our lucky dog free pass winner. He's the first driver a lap down, Robert Richardson Jr., and he will get to go back on the lead lap. Of course, Robert, the former SMU quarterback, loved playing college football, decided he wanted to pursue his love and passion for stock car racing, and now running on an infrequent basis here in the NASCAR Busch Series in the car number 28.
Well, he's got a good sponsor on the car. U.S. Border Patrol's got checkers on there. I mean, you got to have money to run this thing. Pit stops. We'll see what happens here.
Leaders coming down 45 miles an hour. 21 car Harvick will lead them in. Blaney, then the 9, the 6, and Casey Mears now continuing to move it up in the pack as we head down toward his pits as he heads to you, Jamie Little.
That's right, Doc, and he has a new crew chief, Alan Gustafson. That's Kyle Busch's crew chief. They're working together for the first time. This will be their first ever pit stop together. Casey said he's just a little free in the center. They're going to make a wedge adjustment for tires and fuel.
Well, Jamie, Casey Kane got his first career Busch Series win here at Homestead, looking for another great finish tonight. Car takes off great, but gets very tight. Adjustment, wedge, and track 4 tires. Mike?
Dave Blaney's stop already complete, just 2 tires. Car's pretty good in 1 and 2, a little loose in 3 and 4. Dave?
A little loose in 3 and 4 to start for Kevin Harvick. Now the car has come to him. He's going to take 4 tires. They're going to drop the air pressure in the left side tires off pit road.
Blaney out first. You saw the quick pit work there in the pit strategy. Blaney gains a spot. Kenseth up 8 positions, our in-race reporter. Kevin Harvick -2 spots. How about Leffler up 12? And Todd Bodine, despite the glare he was talking about that his crew chief saw on the ESPN cameras on pit road, he gained 17 spots. A little pit strategy working on here the first time in.
This is a great time to do it. You've only run 28 laps now, and these guys can see how this two-tire strategy will work. You don't need but about a half a tank of fuel or less, so good time to do it.
Well, the guys really paid off for us. The caution right before this one. I mean, a lot of these guys came down pit road, put tires on.
Scuffs on the right, one up on that track bar.
Well, the stop before, Andy, I was talking about before the radio transmission there, you know, they've only got 4 or 5 laps in their tires, but now those guys are in the back or up in front now, so pretty smart move. Matt Kenseth, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
That's Rusty.
Buddy, what's the track doing right now, Matt? It looks like it's having a little bit of a transition at the moment.
Yeah, truth, it's hard to tell. I mean, if we could race for a while, we'd be able to get a better read on it. You know, but all these 2- and 3-lap runs and cautions, it's been hard to really tell, to be honest with you.
Matt, has the track been pretty slick right now? You think that's what's causing these cautions, or is it impatience? What is it?
Thankfully, so far, I haven't been around them, so I don't know. But the track seems good. I seem to have a little bit less grip than what I had yesterday. But it seemed like I was getting a little bit better.
All right, buddy, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for talking to us.
Kenseth opting to take 2 tires. Drew Blickensderfer making that call early on. And Andy, your thoughts? You think it's a pretty good time to gamble, I guess, early on here?
Well, yeah, because if it works, then you know it now. If it doesn't, you got plenty of time to recover. If they go back in the field, they go, well, maybe we won't do that next time. But, hey, if it works, they can try this later in the race. And perfect time to do it.
By the way, you Sam Hornish Jr. fans, he's been put at the tail end of the lead lap here because he had too many guys over the wall. You're not allowed but so many 7 over the wall, so they had 1 extra. And if you put a foot over the wall, they put you at the back of the pack, and that's where Sam is, making his 11th ever NASCAR Busch Series start.
Well, so far he's looking really good right now. It's not bad going to the back of the pack. He's going to learn a lot on how to get through the traffic. That's a good call.
By the way, the 7 car, Mike Wallace, stayed out to lead a lap as you ride with Mike here in the Geico onboard camera. And the reason he wanted to lead a lap, get those 5 bonus points, remember, he is battling to hang in that 10th position in the point standings, just 14 points ahead of Matt Kenseth. Brad Keselowski in the 88 car is the leader here. He will lead him down. Big time news for him. An announcement last night here at Dale Earnhardt Jr. saying they have hired him for 2 consecutive years, next 2 years. And his brother Brian Keselowski, by the way, also running right there with him. We got a couple of Keselowskis at the front of the NASCAR Busch Series field. They were at least momentarily.
Now here comes Clint Boyer in that 2 car. He's taking advantage of this. You know, he pitted earlier on one of the earlier cautions and stayed out here, so he's got the good track position on these guys that just pitted.
Oh, he really does. I mean, if you get up and clear traffic, get that clean air, get away from everybody, I mean, that's good stuff because these guys are just pitted. They're going to come to the back of the pack and get through this stuff right now.
More on Brad Keselowski with Dave Burns.
Here's a pitting situation for him, Doc. He pitted on one of those early cautions when Bobby Labonte crashed. They did not take tires, but they did make a track bar adjustment for a very loose race car. So he's got old rubber on the car. He stayed out this time and will lead this race for the foreseeable future. But remember, he's on the tires that he started the race on.
Keselowski the leader, but on old tires, and one of the cars that has just been setting sail early on is that 10 car of Blaney, the Toyota. And watch him now as he tries to work to the inside of Stephen Wallace and David Rudiman.
Ooh, 3 wide down the back straightaway. That's where Patrick Carpentier got in trouble. And somebody's got to give getting that turn 3 right now. This is going to be a tough one. Whoa. That was a smart move to get out of the throttle right there deep in the corner like that.
Here comes Kevin Harvick. See that 10 car wiggle getting in the corner right there, and Kevin Harvick took advantage of that.
Boy, take a look at this 3 wide race, and they can do that because this multi-banking angles here at this track.
Stephen Wallace is 6th right now. Blaney is 7th, and you see all the guys, Harvick back there, Kevin Harvick coming up in 8th spot. Dave?
And one of the interesting things with their group is last year, Doc, they felt like this car was not very good on long runs. So they went to work on that. They worked very hard on it and in practice this weekend. And the interesting thing is he hasn't gotten very many of those yet. So hopefully their short runs are still good as well.
Absolutely. He's coming back up to the pack. Our in-race reporter to the bottom behind this group, there's a 35 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. And then, of course, the 17. of Matt Kenseth. And he told Rusty, he said, I'm not really sure what the track's doing. We haven't been able to run long enough. Now maybe they can get an idea of what's gripping the racetrack.
How about Stephen Wallace, man? He's working the top side of that racetrack on the outside of Kevin Harvick. And Harvick had the best car in the field here until they made this pit stop. Man, he's got that 66 car rolling.
Well, dude, I'm too nervous right now. I'm not going to say a word. Just don't make a mistake. Get the experience, and that's what you got to do. Whoa! Get out of that throttle. Get out of that throttle. Okay. I think he heard me.
Right up against Mike Bliss, and he was trying to pull down on the pass, had some contact, and that's going to give the 17 car a chance to get a run at Stephen Wallace. Again, Wallace is 8th, Kenseth 9th, and Hamilton Jr. 10th. More on Mike Bliss with Shannon.
That's right. Mike Bliss is currently 9th in the owner points. We've been talking a lot about owner and driver points. Well, this car, number 22, 9th in the owner points from Armando Fitz. Mike Bliss said he knows how important it is to finish in that top 10 for this team, especially looking forward to next season. And guys, Armando Fitz has never finished in the top 10 as an owner. So Mike Bliss looking to get it done for him today.
I've never seen Casey Mears as aggressive as I'm seeing him right here. He is passing high, low, restarts.
It looked like he hit the afterburner button a moment ago. He went sailing in between a couple of cars. And, boy, Casey Mears, who's won a Busch race at Chicagoland a year ago, and, of course, now driving, we mentioned Alan Gustafson, who's the crew chief here for him in this final Busch race of the year, and he will become the crew chief full-time for Casey in the 5 Cup car in 2008.
It looks like this combination is working for these guys. Since the restart, Casey Mears has gained 12 spots. He's passing high and low.
Man, I knew these guys were going to drive aggressive, but not this aggressive. And why are they doing it again? It's because this banking angle. I mean, they can just flat get it done. They can go to the top, the middle, the bottom. Nobody's scared of anything right now.
37 laps of 200 are in the books, and we got a young man named Keselowski, the leader here. We talk about action all over this racetrack, just 37 laps in, and we got action all around Homestead-Miami Speedway.
All right, guys, this is it. This is the last one. Championship run right here. It's been a great 3 years with some of the guys that have been on this deal. Frank.
You know it, buddy.
Thanks for everything, guys. Let's win this race and be done with it. Champs on 3. 1, 2, 3. Champs!
Cameron Cobb, the Jackman for Carl Edwards, the NASCAR Busch Series champion, talking with his teammates before the start of the race. After somewhat of a halting start to this race, we got a little green flag racing in. But the caution flag's back out again. That doesn't look good, Doc.
It does not at all, Alan. And tough break for Dario Franchitti in the Ganassi Sabatis Dodge. And Dario, who had good qualifying effort and looked really good here in the practice sessions yesterday, but now a hard hit.
This track's been tough on these open wheel guys. Patrick Carpentier, now Dario Franchitti, springs rolling all over the place. Man, he's hit that wall hard.
Well, he has. When you hit the wall so hard, the rear end pops up in air and the springs fall out. That's something else. But hey, crew chief, I want to ask you a question. What rate is that spring right there?
Well, if you give me a close-up, I can tell you.
Okay,
I can get you within 100 pounds,
I know you
maybe.
can do that.
Let's see what happened to Dario here in the corner. Up across the racetrack.
That thing just took off. Looked like maybe he had a tire go down or something.
That was really unusual. I mean, just shot straight in the wall right in front of Sam Hornish.
Well, you can see the spring just bounding out of the back of the car right in front of Sam, and he comes down across and, well,
man.
Watch that spring come out of the car, right behind the car. Watch it hit the track and just bound around back there.
Guys, you got to believe something broke in this car because there was a lot of sparks before the thing even hit the wall, Andy. So what a tough crash for Franchitti. He's learning the hard way, that's for sure.
What a way to finish the season. All kinds of action on this racetrack right in front of Sam Horney's 5th caution flag tonight in just the first 45 laps. Sunset here in South Florida, Homestead-Miami Speedway. And we are under caution for the 5th time thus far in the first 45 laps. This one coming out on lap 44. Indy 500 winner and current Indy Racing League champion Dario Franchitti climbing out of his car after a hard lick. Show you again what happened to Dario in the 42 car.
And it looks as though he gets into turn 3. The turn's been giving a lot of people trouble. He got loose, overcorrected it, and went back up and hit the wall. And Andy originally thought that maybe he blew a right front tire. It doesn't look that.
No, the first replay we saw from the head-on shot looked like maybe something broke, but definitely he just overcorrected it, took a dead right there and hit that wall.
Remember a year ago that Juan Pablo Montoya came here and run the Busch Series cars and had trouble in Busch and Cup. And look how far he has come in just a matter of a year. Here's the pit stops. Keselowski on pit road. Some of the guys that were out of sequence a moment ago. Clint Bowyer as well coming in.
And boy, Clint Boyer's had a tough time. We've heard he's complaining about his car being very, very tight. They've made a couple adjustments now. Still hasn't fixed the car.
And these pit stops will, for the first time in his career, allow A.J. Allmendinger to be our leader. Let's go down to the 88, talk about the 88 car. Dave?
Yeah, what they did, Doc, is an air pressure adjustment on this race car. He said it's pretty good getting in, did Brad Keselowski, but he needs help up off the corner. So they'll change the air pressures around a little bit, but not too bad for the 88, Mike.
And Dave, it's been a pretty long weekend so far for Clint Bowyer and the 2 team. Keep in mind, this is a backup car. The first time they've had to roll out a backup car in a couple of years, and it has been a struggle today. In the first laps today, he came over the radio and said it's plowing. Subsequently, they've stopped 3 times and have raised the track bar 3 times. This last time, a lengthy pit stop, actually raising the left side track bar. So they're really still trying to dial this race car in. It's nowhere near the way that Clint Bowyer wants it right now.
Dario Franchitti treated and released at the infield care stand. Been a tough night for open wheel drivers. Patrick Carpentier also back in the garage area, but we got an open wheeler who leads here for the first time in his NASCAR Busch Series career. A.J. Allmendinger, the leader, as he will bring him around. The pace car will pull off, and we will listen in as we go full throttle.
You ready?
You ready?
Get ready.
Stay ready.
See. Get ready. Green, green, green. Green flag. Green, green.
Right with you.
Here's looking
Clear up, clear up, clear up. 2 wide with that 2. Don't leave that 49. You'll be 3 wide of him. Now just 2 wide with that 49 right on top of you. Just the 49. Still there.
35 outside. They're outside.
Watch the 36 there.
6 is coming outside, outside. It's got to run
When you get here, clear. There you go. Nice job, buddy. Keep it up.
On your corner. Go outside corner. 10 feet behind you.
Great battles around the racetrack. You see Stephen Wallace there hanging tough right in the middle groove there, battling Casey Mears. And there is the 20 car of Denny Hamlin. You see Casey King come sliding by. That's for the 7th position.
Man, these guys just flat sail through turn 1 and 2, and a lot of them go in low, go right to the top of the racetrack. And Andy, get that momentum, get that motor wound up, and boy, it looks like it's got 1,000 horsepower down the back straightaway when that happens.
Yeah, but look at this 20 car working the bottom of the racetrack, and it works just as good for him down there because he's making so much ground through the middle of the corner.
6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th on your screen right there as you look back from Denny Hamlin in 6th position. They are continuing to be 2 wide. And while you watch this battle unfold, we'll check in where Jamie is caught up with Dario Franchitti. You watch the 2nd place battle momentarily. There's a 10 car going by. That is Blaney going by A.J. Allmendinger. Jamie.
Have a great battle on the track, but meanwhile, Dario Franchitti checked out okay. Dario, what led to your impact there?
I just made a mistake. I went into turn 3 and it was a little bit loose, and I guess I braked maybe a little bit harder than the lap before, and it got loose, and I overcorrected and hit the wall, just shot up. You know, I'm just getting used to how precise you got to be with a car, and I flat out made a mistake.
Dario, how different are these cars at this racetrack from an open wheel car?
I can't tell you, Jamie, how different they are. It's crazy. First 10 laps yesterday it was such a learning experience, but you know, I really had a good time out there today. I felt the most comfortable I felt in the car the whole time. I was really feeling progress, so real shame that the target dodge ended up in the wall, but it's all learning.
Well, you learned a few things. We'll see you back in Daytona in a Cup car, Doc.
What a world of talent, Dario Franchitti. I'm excited about the kind of future he's going to have here in a stock car. 41, talk about futures and great talents. A.J. Allmendinger up high trying to hang on. Only his 7th ever NASCAR Busch Series start, and he's hanging tough with Casey Mears.
He's got a few more laps on his tires in this 24 car. He's hanging, like you said, he's hanging tough right here. He's kind of found him another groove, and he's raced right back by these guys.
Well, I think if you can leave A.J. Allmendinger in this number 41 car, he would run this thing from morning to sunset because he loves driving this Busch Series. Andy has taught him so much in order to compete in NASCAR.
No substitute for laps around the racetrack.
Well, he's getting the seat time right now, and he's running with some of the world's greatest drivers right now. You see Casey Mears. He knows how to get it done. He won the Coca-Cola 600 this year.
Allmendinger is 3rd, Mears 4th, Stephen Wallace in 5th position in the 66 car, the Dodge. Then comes Denny Hamlin in 7th. Kenseth is back there. Great runs up front. How about some of the Russ, you talked about at the beginning of the show. This final race is when some of the young drivers have to step up and make a statement.
Oh, absolutely. You see the 66 car, Stephen Wallace. He wants to go out with a great run. I mean, heck, I'm his dad. I want him to also. But it's good running against guys like Denny Hamlin. You see Casey Mears. These young guys can learn from these guys. You look, A.J. Allmendinger we talked about. He's right there behind Blaney. I mean, they just need to watch these fellows and learn and log laps.
A year ago, Steve Wallace was having a great run here, running about 7th or 8th and had issues on a restart in turn 2, got tagged from behind by another car. How different is Stephen Wallace today than he was a year ago here in a Busch car?
Oh, the kid has just matured so much, it's unreal. It's about drove his mother crazy watching it. Losing a lot of hair because of that, I would guarantee, at least I would. I don't have no hair, do I? Okay. But he's learned a lot.
How about that move right there? Just slid up in front of Casey.
Wow. Hey, Mike?
And Rusty can certainly comment on this, but it has been a trying year, to say the least, for Stephen. His uncle, Kenny, who had spotted for him for a while, had told the media not too long ago that he really thought that Stephen was carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders, and that weight actually comes from his family's heritage. He knew how much expectations were placed on him because he was a Wallace, and Kenny said he felt like he may have been trying a little bit too hard. Also, Stephen said something rather telling midsummer. He said, at the beginning of this year, I thought I was Superman, but I realized I'm not. And once you realize that, I guess that's when you really begin to dial things in and improve, and so far it's showing tonight.
All the expectations that are placed on guys with famous names, the Pettys, the Earnhardts, the Allisons, the Jarretts, and now the Wallaces. Your dad was outstanding at what he did. You come in behind him, and everyone says you got to be good right off the bat. Stephen Wallace running extremely well here. Lap 58. Kevin Harvick is our leader. Dave Blaney in second. A.J. Allmendinger third. Stephen Wallace fourth. And Denny Hamlin in the top 5. Back with more from Homestead in just a moment. Welcome back to the Ford 300 NASCAR Busch Series season finale at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Our leader is the car number 10, and that is Dave Blaney in the Toyota. Moments ago, Kevin Harvick was the leader here in the 21 car. 6-time winner this year, and we're going to show you how Dave Blaney just absolutely stomped the throttle and sailed by.
Boy, they've had some good horsepower all year long, that Toyota. And look, he just shot around the outside of Kevin. But, you know, Andy, I got to believe Kevin's a pretty smart driver. He saw him coming. Let him have the groove, and he's going to tuck in behind him.
He looked up there and saw what lap it was. It was lap 63 or 4 there. He's not going to push it right now, but he will when it comes time.
Kevin's pretty happy right now. He won the truck championship as a truck owner last night. Boy, he's loving that.
66 car, and we continue to be impressed with Stephen Wallace and how much this young man has matured in a single season. Final race of the year for the young man in a Dodge. They go to Chevrolet in 2008 with Richard Childress engines, and this team has really come together here. The young man has trying to now under siege here by the 20 car of Denny Hamlin. That is for third position.
Yeah, the one thing here is Denny Hamlin's got a little bit fresher tires than Stephen does. Stephen's got a great car, and he's found a line right there, but these tires are about 7 laps newer on the 20 car, so I think this is probably going to win out over time.
And you can see Stephen running the top lane. He's got security there, and Denny Hamlin, just like you said, Andy, he's got a lot of security in the bottom, but I believe the momentum's on the top of the track right now.
We talk about aero loose and what happens when the air comes off on one car because another one is behind it. And we've talked about the ability to use draft track to show it. Let's show you a moment ago the pass the 66 made on A.J. Allmendinger.
We take a look at Stephen Wallace right now, running up in the back, A.J. Allmendinger. Watch the downforce in front of Stephen's car. He starts losing it, but he gets his bumper right to the back of A.J. A.J.'s car wiggles. See it wiggle? Stephen pulls it nose down, gets the downforce back on the front of his car, and drag races down the front straightaway and makes the pass on the entry of turn 1.
Now you see why sometimes drivers say, I don't know if I got tapped or not, but it felt like he did when he gets spun by this close contact. Sometimes you don't even have to touch a guy to get him loose, and you can really see it right there.
Just suction the air off the back of that car, and you don't have any downforce. And despite the fact we have older tires, here's the 60 car. And how about Keselowski in the 88 coming back after that pit stop off sequence just a little bit ago? Brad Keselowski again making the announcement yesterday. He'll be in this car for the next 2 years. Navy on board for Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's his team, JR Motorsports.
And boy, Jerry Brad's been driving smart all year long. He's had a fast car, and Dale Jr.'s really helped him a lot. A lot of Hendrick influence in this car. and you can tell it's really showing up. Dave?
And Rusty, you know this kid is from Michigan. He watched the Wolverines lose earlier today to the dreaded Ohio State Buckeyes. But you know what? I said to him, at least your car is blue and gold. He goes, yeah, come to think of it, that is a good thing. I'm glad the Navy re-signed.
Tell me these guys don't watch other sports and love college football, college basketball, but their focus right now is NASCAR stock car racing.
Okay, you see the right side of your screen, Rusty. If you're up on top of the roof and you got a radio on, what are you telling Steven right now?
Well, I made me a little nervous earlier, but right now it looks like he's holding his own. And Denny Hamlin's one of Steven's good friends, and so they see each other, you know, off and on up in Mooresville, North Carolina a lot. They respect each other, so Steven's probably pretty comfortable racing with Denny because he knows Denny won't rough him up.
Left side of your screen, gaggle of cars back there. Todd Bodine is back there, the 99 of Rudeman. These cars in the 60 car, Carl Edwards has slid all the way back to 16th position.
I tell you, the motor in that 66 car has got some serious horsepower down the straightaways. It's fun to watch that.
How about the 90 car, Stephen Light? And talking about looking for a ride, and there's a young man who impressed everyone with a win at Kentucky this year. Remember, David Gilliland won at Kentucky a year ago and got a call to go drive for Robert Yates. Steven's still waiting for the phone call to ring just to be able to get a Busch ride for 2008.
This team's going away. This Busch team at Robert Yates Racing is going away, so he is looking for a ride, and he's a great young man. A lot of talent. I can't believe that he won't land a full-time ride next year.
Yeah, our Brad Doherty is really high on this kid right here, Stephen Light. I am too. He won this year at Kentucky. He knows how to get it done. He will get a ride, guys.
Kenseth, our in-race reporter, won this race a year ago, moving inside the Dodge of A.J. Allmendinger.
I just love watching the races at this racetrack. A lot of the drivers say, Rusty, you know what? This is my favorite track because of the progressive bank, and they like to be able to run on the bottom, the middle, and the top. And it's, guys, it's just fun to watch because there's no follow the leader running on this type of racetrack.
Whoa, look at this 88 car shoot up on the outside of Todd Bodine. They just split Todd Bodine.
If you're a race fan, you got to be loving that, huh?
Absolutely.
Look at him pass on me. This track, I love the design.
I don't want to jinx anything, but looks like they settled down just a little bit and we can get a little green flag racing in.
Coverage from high atop Homestead-Miami Speedway, courtesy of our good friends at Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. Well, you love the setting here. South Florida, the sun sets in Homestead-Miami Speedway. The sun sets on the NASCAR Busch Series season, and on the final race for the NASCAR for Busch, Anheuser-Busch, who has been the sponsor for this series for the entire 26 years. Next year, it moves on to become nationwide. The NASCAR Nationwide Series is nationwide, comes on for the ride in 2008 and beyond.
Well, Nationwide's going to do a good job for this series, just like the Busch Series have done for the NASCAR Series here. And you know, I think a lot of people are going to miss the Busch Series, but they're looking forward to new things that Nationwide can do for this organization. There's a lot of young drivers that are coming through. It's going to be exciting next year.
Second most popular stock car series in the world, the NASCAR Busch Series. It's Hamlin, Burton, Steve Wallace, Kevin Harvick, and Dave Blaney in the top 5.
Four straight wins has Jimmy Johnson on pace for a second straight championship. Only Jeff Gordon can stop him. And with him in the hunt, this chase won't be over till the checkered flag drops in Miami. The race for the championship concludes tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC.
Final event of the 2007 season. Susie will be on hand with NASCAR Countdown, and then we'll bring you all 267 laps and see whether it's Jimmy Johnson or Jeff Gordon winning the Nextel Cup. Here in the NASCAR Busch Series season finale, Dave Blaney's got a huge lead, 3.5 seconds over second place.
Boy, Dave Blaney is really flying, and we've seen him have some tremendous runs this year. We'd like to see him finish the deal off because he's really been up front a lot. And this Toyota has been very, very strong. We saw Jason Leffler earlier this year get a win, you know, at Milwaukee. I'm sorry, at Indianapolis. Had a tremendous run. So they've made tremendous strides, and I look for them to continue to get stronger and stronger into next season.
Toyota's entry into the Busch Series, one of the stories of 2007. Now, the guy to keep an eye on behind Blaney might be the guy driving the championship team owner's car here tonight. That is Jeff Burton in that 29 car. Locked up the owner's points for Richard Childress just by starting the race. Took the green flag way back in 30th place. And Brad, he is in 3rd right now.
Well, I tell you what, Alan, anytime Jeff Burton gets in one of these Busch cars, it's just a treat to watch him race. He's a hard, clean racer, and he always works his way towards the front of the pack. I think Jeff Burton has a great chance to win this race tonight if we can just keep some long green flag runs.
Now, I'm going to have a set of green flag pit stops here shortly, barring a quick caution flag for some of those leaders who did not stop since lap 28. And it's dark out now. Let's head to the Dish Tech Center and bring in crew chief Tim Brewer. Tim, adjusting from day to night, going to be big on these pit stops.
You're exactly right, Alan. What we're going to do in preparation for the event, we put rubbers in the left rear spring. You know, we wanted to have, say, an 850-pound spring in there. Well, what we did after practice, came back, put an 800-pound spring in it, put the rubbers in there equivalent to 50 pounds. As the racetrack tightens up, we remove the rubbers, free the car up, runs through the center of the corner, makes the car drive a lot better here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. And just one thing to keep an eye on as we get ready for those green flag pit stops. The pit entry here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, one of the trickiest on the circuits. It's off of turn 3 instead of off turn 4. Rusty, you know all about that. It's a big handful.
Boy, Alan, you are exactly right. When you come down the back straightaway at close to 180 miles an hour and slow down and come on that pit entry, you get in there, and as you get about halfway through it, you're carrying so much speed you can slide off into the grass, and we've seen a lot of really good drivers spin out and crash because of that.
For more information on adjustments you saw from Tim Brewer down in our Chevy Cutaway car, log on to ESPN.com, search word safety. Down at our ESPN Dish Tech Center. Whoa, trouble, our in-race reporter. And speaking of Dish, here comes the Ford of Matt Kenseth, spinning around twice, 2 360s. And didn't hit a thing, got some debris off one of the tires there, and he's in the middle of the track. And see Matt looking in the mirror, trying to get the car righted and headed back.
Tires, guys, 4 tires.
You see that tread rubber off the tire. Looks like it came off the left rear tire. Man, what a good job Matt Kenseth did to save that car and not tear it up.
Over here it is reported he just had a flat tire. It's flat right now, but you never know if it happened because of the spin, but evidently...
left rear is going to rip the quarter off here. I'm going as slow as I can.
And he's got to drive slow like he's talking about because these tires are bottled, so it'll blow the fenders right off it.
Well, he's lost most of this tire already. I think he could probably go ahead and, well, you can see it's flapping the inner liner now, so it's kind of tearing up the inner panel, but he lost most of the tire out on the racetrack.
Much rubber left, so it's not going to do that much damage.
Oh, you see the tire flat on the left rear already, Andy. You see it's down. He's holding on for dear life basically at the moment. And just can't hold on to it anymore. It's wobbling back and forth. He gets
there it goes.
There it goes, and he's gone. But watch him keep this thing off the wall, and that's a veteran. He was on the brakes, off the brakes, back on the brakes, and that's what you got to do to steer it. Now, generally, I would have kept the wheel to the left, kept the brake pedal applied, and they usually spin to the center. But if you're really good, like he is, you can pull it off.
Pit stops are happening. Let's get on to Jamie Little.
And Casey Mears getting counted down to his pit box. He said he's at level 8 tight, super tight. They're going to do 4 tires, air pressure adjustment, and track bar adjustment. Now keep in mind, this is the 5 team that won last weekend. They've switched over to the 24 team with Casey Mears. Mike?
The main command from Trent Owens to his Dave Blaney team, watch the fuel. Make sure you get it all in there. They may be able to go the distance. A 4-tire change, no adjustments, Dave.
So tight, said 6-time winner in 2007, Kevin Harvick. They will make air pressure adjustments on all 4 tires, plus a track bar adjustment to try to get this 21 car back in the game.
Race off of pit road, Kevin Harvick, Blaney. Whoa, the 5-car, almost some contact there with the Mark Martin trying to get out, and there is some contact in the 88 and the 90, slight edge. You see Carl Edwards coming out there in the 60. Big gainer David Rudiman. And of course, the loser you see at the back of the top 10. Under caution for the 6th time a day, coming out lap 86. Trouble for our in-race reporter, Matt Kenseth. Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway under caution for the 6th time tonight, coming out lap 86, our in-race reporter, Matt Kenseth. A left rear tire. We're told they've been on pit road and they have a brace they're going to have to put there on that rear panel. And how about some close calls? You think these guys aren't gladiators that go over the wall? It's into the danger zone. Jason Tate, the Jack Manfred, Kelly Murray. Whoa, just gets in there between him and the 18 car, Verical Marola. Wow.
Man, look at this right here. Yo, he had to jump over both cars. Jumped over the hood and had to dodge that 18.
And he's carrying a jack as he's jumping. Think this guy isn't a pretty good athlete?
I have never seen nothing like that in my life. That was so close. His foot barely fit between both those cars and hardly ever missed a beat. Threw that jack down, jacked that car up. He's going to talk about this one for a long time.
Wow, talk about special memories. Pace car pulls away. Kevin Harvick, again our leader, Dave Blaney, who has some damage on his car. Got some damage a moment ago. There's the 10 car. Former leader here, and behind him the 29 of Jeff Burton, then Stephen Wallace and Mark Martin in the top 5.
Got a little reset here. Got new tires on all these cars. We're going to see, and all of them are, Stephen Wallace gets loose, big time loose.
Car wiggling and wobbling up high, getting very loose. He gathers it, hangs on somehow to the car.
Well, it's just a classic case of having the air pressure is kind of cold. You know, the temperatures aren't up right now, and he drove it really hard down in there. The car bottomed out. You saw the sparks. Now he's just got to keep driving it and let the pressures build up.
How long does it take?
It's going to take him about 5 or 6 laps. It really is. This car's been very fast, which is an indication he's got the front end turning really good.
Oh, and he couldn't.
Got the wall, got real loose getting in. Come on, the easy, spun out. Just hold the brake up against the wall there. Easy. All right, come on.
One of the things you have to have is a loose race car in these early laps to have a good car later in the runs. And looks like Stephen's car is just a little bit too free in the early
Yeah,
part
and they might have made an adjustment. The crew
not that bad.
Stephen trying to get the car to turn. It will not stay down on the racetrack. Comes across the grass right up in front of Todd Bodine.
You quit yelling at me, all right? We do. It's going to bottom out there, okay? Now, be smart here. Look what you're doing.
It bottomed out, and he got loose and ruined his day because of that. Sounds like he's mad at the crew chief for setting the car up where it's running that low to the ground. So they got to stay calm right now. Get this thing fixed, get back in, get some points.
Got to have cool heads prevail. He's had a good run here. Want to finish the season on a positive note. Tough break here into the wall, bringing out caution number 7. Now let's show you what happened. Restart, fresh tires. Watch the first wiggle for Stephen Wallace.
See him drive down in the corner hard, right on the outside of the 59 car. Looks like it just gets a little bit loose, and he chases it up the hill.
Starting to bottom out. The front end's really on the ground far. Now he holds on to it, and he barely gets through here, but then he gets down. A lap later, down into turn 3, and it really bottoms out hard then. And boy, when these things bottom out, you can't do nothing. It's a little bit confusing why the car bottomed out more this time than the time before, but you know, he's got to stay cool. He's done proved to everybody out there he can drive these cars. It's a tough day for him.
Take a look from David Rudeman's onboard camera, looking right up ahead there. You're going to see Stephen trying to hang on, and the car just bottoms out, sparks underneath the car, and he just couldn't hold on.
Come on, no caution.
He's up against the concrete. Caution number 7 on the day.
It has been a little bit wild here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway tonight. Wrapping up the 7th caution of this race, and under this caution, a couple of veterans with a couple of problems.
Having a tough time, Alan. I mean, we just, 7 cautions for 25 laps thus far. We're having a tough time having any long green flag runs.
Carl Edwards going to get sent to the end of the longest line for being too fast exiting pit road on a stop under this yellow. Matt Kenseth ran the stop and go paddle. You kind of raced the pace car to the end of pit road. He didn't make it, so he is going to find himself penalized by NASCAR to get that lap back. He's going to be in 36th place. The crew chiefs never like it when the referee's call doesn't go your way. Drew Blickensderfer, Kenseth's crew chief, although calmly discussing and arguing his point.
It's the end of the year. He's just trying to have a nice conversation with him about the off season.
Yeah. Where are you going? Going on vacation this week? What do you got going on? I don't think so. Kevin Harvick, the race leader, trying to win what would be an incredible 7th race this season. Man, Harvick has been so fast. And also a mention that the Aaron's lucky dog on that caution was the 27 car, Bobby East. So he was the first driver 1 lap down. He gets back on the lead lap. It's going to put him in 28th place as they come to the green flag this time around. Doc?
Thank you, guys. We are 5 laps away from the halfway point, 5 laps away from lap 100 here in the 35th and final race of the 2005 season. Hasn't been disappointing. 15 different winners this year. We've had 20 different pole sitters. And as you heard Alan say, Kevin Harvick trying to pick up his 7th win in 2007. He had 9 a year ago. There have been 8 lead changes among 6 different leaders. Thus far, Kevin Harvick has led the most laps. He has led 3 times for 39 laps. Pace car getting set to pull away. Let's listen into the spotters as we go full throttle.
Okay, let's be ready. All right, pace car's off. Be ready. Be ready. Ready. Be ready. 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 Flag. Clear all around. Clear all around. Inside. 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 Keep rolling. Inside. Still inside corner. Inside corner. You're clear low. Still inside. Clear. Clear all around. Inside. Inside. Still there. Still there. Clear down. Barely there. Clear. All clear. All clear, buddy. It's your mark. Clear all around.
10-car battle for second position, the 29 of Jeff Burton, and we have caution again on the racetrack. A tire apparently being cut by the 66 of Stephen Wallace.
Bring it back over here, and we'll take it behind the wall, and we'll fix this thing so you can at least drive it the rest of the day. Stay on the bottom, stay on the bottom, get on the very bottom, get on the apron, get on the access road. There you go. Good job, dude.
Caution for the 8th time today, and got to be frustrating for that young man, just 20 years of age. Had a great run going, running up high as 3rd through the early part of the race, and now contact with the wall a moment ago. Now the window net down and damage on the side of the car. Show you some damage on the 10 car as you see Stephen making his way to pit road. Damage on the right rear of the Dave Blaney Toyota. Blaney in 2nd position. There was some contact earlier in the night between the 10 and the 36.
Looks like this was before that caution came out on that green flag run, and looks like Jeremy gets into the side of him, maybe trying to stay on the lead lap here.
Yeah, Jeremy was really doing a good job on the top side of the racetrack. You see the damage in the right rear quarter panel of Dave Blaney. And Andy, I got to believe that's going to hurt some downforce to that car, because that's very important right there.
I'm not sure that's going to hurt it too much. I'm worried about it rubbing the tire, though. I saw some shiny places on that right rear tire.
Dave Blaney has led 27 laps right now. He's in hot pursuit of Kevin Harvick, who's led 42. Caution number 8 on the night. Back in a moment. Back at Homestead-Miami, that's Matt Kenseth, the crew chief, Drew Blickensderfer, in a discussion, a disagreement, and pleading his case with the NASCAR officials because of what happened a moment ago. They put his driver, the 17 car, back at the tail end of the lead lap, and there is a 17 of Kenseth. He's being shown, back a lap down, back in 33rd position. Let's find out what Drew is talking about. Shannon, you catch up with him?
That's right. Some major confusion down here in the 17 pit box. Were you black flagged? Were you not black flagged? What did NASCAR tell you?
Well, what happened was when we spun out, we lost our lap coming to pit road. We asked NASCAR before the race if we were on pit road and we decided to go back on the racetrack, can we do that? They said no. So Matt stayed on the access road, got lapped, which meant we pitted too soon, which meant we were supposed to go to the back and we didn't. The next caution helped us out. We served our penalty, and now we'll see if we can get the lucky dog and contend here at the end.
Now, Drew, there was a mention about Matt running the paddles. Did that happen, or is this all about him coming down pit road too soon?
It's all about coming down too soon. They thought he ran the paddles, but when they reviewed the tape, they realized that he was okay at the end of pit road.
All right, well, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you, Shannon. Great explanation, and that's a good thing NASCAR can do is run the video back in the tower and see what happened.
Yeah, it sounded like he wasn't part of his argument anyway.
We'll find out if his driver can do just that. He can become the lucky dog and get back and become the first car a lap down. If we get a caution, he gets back on the lead lap. Meanwhile, who's going to handle Kevin Harvick? Oh, my. Harvick in the 21 car pulling away a Toyota in pursuit with Blaney. Harvick's teammate, Jeff Burton, has come all the way from 30th starting spot to 3rd in that 29 car, and he is yet to lead tonight.
Oh, he probably will, though, before the night's over. Those Richard Childress cars have been fast. You know, one thing about Kevin Harvick, he got to run the truck race last night. He understands what the track's going to do, if it's faster in the bottom, middle, or top. So, hey, he's got some experience in this track.
This 29 car looks great. Mark Martin running right behind him. Both of these guys have made their way up to the front. I think you're going to see both of these guys get up there before the night's up.
Well, Andy, right now the track's going through its complete transition. It's dead dark here. It's cooled down. You know, so the drivers now are making the final changes they're going to need to get them to the end of the race, because there's 98 laps to go. We're past the halfway now, and they're in good shape.
2-car, Clint Boyer having some contact.
Been talking about his car being extremely tight.
Still coming inside here. Clear the top.
We stay green, no caution flag. He's had contact. We'll see if he's going to try to get to the inside and make his way to pit road after having that contact on the right side. See if it's been scraped up a little bit.
Well, it looks like he's flat spotted on the right side of the car, guys, but he's got smoke coming off that right front tire, which really bothers me, Andy. That means he can probably blow that tire out if it continues on.
Here comes Mark Martin.
We talked at the top of the show, 4 of the 6 winningest drivers in NASCAR Busch Series history, and here are 2 of them right here. Mark Martin in the 5-car, driving for Hendrick Motorsports here. He drove the 5-car at Darlington and produced his best finish of the year, second earlier in the year, still winless here in 2007, and this is his final shot. Now let's show you what happened a moment ago to Clint Boyer in the 2-car.
Can't take the right side. Probably hurt the right front a little bit arrow. I don't see.
Boy, it looks like this is a classic case of getting too high. Got the right rear tire up in the dirty portion of the racetrack and got off underneath of them. Body slapped the wall on the right side. They got the front end, Andy, so it's just a classic case here.
Yeah, he's talking about his car has been so he's in dog tight, just wouldn't turn. The front wheel's sliding across the racetrack. And so he drives in the corner there, and then he gets out of the groove, and then when that happened, the back end broke loose, and he got in the wall.
Oh, speaking of back ends breaking loose, there's the 10-car. Whoa, and Hamlin just keeps from tagging him.
Didn't hit anything. We'll need tires.
Oh, man, Jeff Burton almost hit him, got around outside of him, and Denny Hamlin cleared him. But it looks like just another car just flat got loose.
How did Denny Hamlin miss that 10-car? Blaney right in front of Burton, as you said, Rusty, as they are nose to tail. I guess is that arrow loose? That's right up near the wall, as they were just inches apart for second spot.
Well, we're going to have to go back and take a look at it, but the tough thing is these drivers are in a lot of smoke. They're trying to drive through this smoke, negotiate yourself through it, and that's tough. Let's take a look at this replay.
See Jeff Burton working the top side, and Dave Blaney just slides right up there. He was already getting loose before he got to the top of the racetrack.
Boy, he was, Andy. He just had it, just flat, got off from underneath of him. And on these restarts, I keep telling you guys, these tire pressures don't get up quick enough, the tire temperatures don't get quick enough, and these drivers get aggressive.
I'm inside.
Looking out the back of Jeff Burton, watch Denny Hamlin's car come on.
There you go. Out of way, bud. Out of way. Caution's out.
Now from the 20-car onboard camera. Oh, baby. Oh.
Stay high, all clear.
Boy, he's in that smoke. He's blind for just a little bit. He's got to hold the wheel steady and drive through it.
Jeff Burton somehow on the brakes, on the wheel, able to get by, as was Denny Hamlin under caution for the 9th time tonight. This telecast of the NASCAR Busch Series is available in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Vizio. Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, caution number 9 on the night. Second place car spinning the 10-car Denny Hamlin. Matt Kenseth, our in-race reporter, who had cut a tire back on lap 86 and lost a lap. Now he's racing to get by the 11 car of Jason Keller because he wants to be the first car a lap down if the caution were to come out. And the caution did come out, and guess what? The 17 car became our lucky dog, and he was the Aaron's lucky dog, and he was the first car a lap down, got to go back on the lead lap, came on the pit road, got some fresh tires, so he's ready to rock and roll.
Oh, that's not good for the competitors because he's going to be fast. He's back in the game now.
Kevin Harvick will lead him down, and don't look now, Kevin, but the guy right behind you, Mark Martin, is a 47-time winner in the NASCAR Busch Series, and the guy behind him, Jeff Burton, has won 26 times. As you watch these 3 Busch Series veterans now try to run down the 21, let's check in where Jamie is caught up with Stephen Wallace.
And Stephen Wallace had a great run going there, top 5 for a while, and now you're in the garage. What happened, Stephen?
Yeah, the Homework News Dodgers ran real good today. It's just car bottomed out on fresh tires. Just went there and spun out, got on the wall. I feel like an idiot if I had to go there and shoot myself, but just got to get a little bit smarter. Got to get the cars handling better. It's just, you know, we've had 2 fast cars this year, and it's just a shame, you know. But we'll get them there at Daytona. Switch to Chevrolet. Going to start off on a fresh sheet. I'm excited. It's the very last race. We'll get in the jet and go home and go to Daytona in February and start all over.
8th DNF for Stephen Wallace, guys. Not the way he wanted to end his rookie season.
Not at all, but you can glad to see him smile and say, you know, we had a couple of good cars. We're going to build on that. And we're going to be ready for Daytona in February. Well, we'll be there for the NASCAR Busch Series race come February in Daytona. 5 car, Mark Martin on the bottom of the racetrack, and great friendships here. Mark Martin and Jeff Burton are among the better friends you would see in the garage area among these drivers, and they were teammates for many years over at Roush Racing.
One thing I've seen Mark Martin, he's committed to the bottom of the racetrack the whole race. You see the 29 car Jeff Burton now, he's working the top. But, you know, Mark is what we call it. He calls himself a bottom feeder. He's going to run the bottom of that racetrack if he can, no matter what.
A troubled car in the wall, the 03 Todd Bodine, and Hornish is involved with him. Heavy damage on the front of Sam Hornish's Dodge.
I'm all right. Well, I'm done for tonight, boys.
And Sam had nowhere to go. Sam Hornish is just trying to stay out of trouble and get laps and get experience. You were just talking about...
Take it right back to the garage, right back to the garage. Guys, meet him back at the garage there. Looks pretty rough.
Sam running his 11th ever NASCAR Busch race. Here's Todd Bodine, last year's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Champion. There's Sam Hornish, who qualified for the Cup race, for his second Cup race. He will run here on Sunday afternoon. Let's show you what happened here. Watch the 03 car.
See the 03 way up on the racetrack. Almost the same thing that happened to Dave Blaney.
Well, Andy, we've seen this many times, and look at Hornish, nowhere to go. Bam. Oh,
yeah, he gets the worst of that one.
It's sick feeling, you know. You just need more time. Needs a lot of seat time. You can't get to seat time when you're wrecking.
Now watch the force of the impact here. Just lift the 03 car. Watch these cars come off the ground. We're talking about 170 miles an hour. Just spins around.
It's like that knocked the breath out of you right there.
Oh, yeah, especially if you're Sam Hornish, it's going to knock the breath out of you.
How about Mark Bodine? Man, that's a hard lick.
Lifts the right side of that car right off the ground because he got hit so hard on the left side. It even lifted the right side because of that.
Sam Hornish, the 3-time IRL champion, an Indy 500 winner, winningest driver in IRL history. Now, making the announcement last week, he'll come full-time to NASCAR Nextel Cup in 2008, getting some valuable experience in the Roger Penske Busch car. Well, what do you do if you're the leaders, crew chief? You coming on the pit road or are you hanging out there?
Boy, we're right here at that one real tough decision time. You see some of these guys really probably want to come down pit road. They don't. We see some of the guys at the back coming in.
Got to make a commitment to come on the pit road coming into turn 3. You see those cars speeding because remember there's no speed limit until you get around to that commitment cone.
But you can't pass the pace car. You cannot pass the pace car there.
You can get to the pace car, but you cannot pass it. Under caution for the 10th time, heavy contact, Todd Bodine and Sam Hornish. Back at Homestead-Miami Speedway, under caution for the 10th time of night, coming out on lap 112. Earlier in the week, a national story broke out of North Carolina about a young man who was missing, and that story has significant ties to many of the folks in the garage area and on pit road tonight. For more, here's Dave Burns.
Yeah, Doc, one individual in particular, and we'll get to that. The young man's name is 24-year-old Kyle Fleischman from Charlotte, North Carolina. He was last seen on February 9th in the early morning hours downtown. Now, Michael Hodges, the shock specialist for the 21 Richard Childress Racing Team for current leader Kevin Harvick in the 21 car, he is a fraternity brother of Kyle Fleischman's, and they decided that they would get involved in the help effort to try to help find Kyle. In fact, that's the website that you can go to if you have any information that might lead to police and others trying to find Kyle Fleischman. It's helpfindkyle.com. You can go there and provide any information. Also, if you want to make any donations, Michael Hodges reminded me that Kyle's family is footing the bill for a private investigator to try to find this young man. It's a real mystery. They don't know what happened to him. And again, it's been national news, and if you have any information or perhaps a couple bucks that can help, Michael Hodges and all his friends would certainly appreciate that. Again, Kyle Fleischman missing, and it's quite mysterious, Doc.
Thank you, Dave. I know for the millions of race fans watching and folks around the world, maybe someone has something that they saw or heard that can help find Kyle. 84 laps to go here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and a lot of focus and concentration. They're here physically, and for some of those folks, their hearts are far away. Final race of the year, 35th and final race. We told you how close it is in the NASCAR Busch Series point standings, and Kevin Harvick was 7 points back of Jason Leffler. Well, guess what? Because of leading right now, he has taken the third spot away from Leffler as they run right now with still 84 laps to go. Mike Wallace hanging tough, trying to finish in the top 10 in points, where he has run every race this year. And of course, and you see where the 7 and 17 are on the racetrack. The 7 is Mike Wallace. You see that car left your screen, the Geico Chevy, and the 17 is Matt Kenseth, as they are 19th and 20th respectively in the running order right now.
Jerry, that 10th finishing position is so important. You know, it means so much when you look on the sponsors, you're talking to your people, and you're going, you know what, we had a top 10 run this year. And as you well know, as a past car owner, that's very important. When you go to these sponsors and your fans and stuff, just get a little extra step in you when you get to say that.
Absolutely, and I think even for Mike Wallace, it's worth more to him than it would be for Matt Kenseth. Matt doesn't run all the races, so I'm sure it's very important to Mike.
Matt Kenseth, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
Get me booted out with old, in with the new.
Hey, Matt, Rusty and ESPN, you got us?
I got you, Rusty.
Hey, buddy, looks like a lot of action out there going on. A lot of guys getting loose on the entry at turn 3. What's up with that?
That corner's been a little loose getting in there, and it's a little easy to overdrive, but mine was a little loose on the exit at turn 2.
All right, has the track changed a lot since the start of the race?
Not really. It didn't really take that big set where it tightened way up or anything like that, I don't think. But we seem to be pretty good on a long run until we got that flat. So hopefully we get some green flag racing here. It's been difficult to do here tonight, really the last few weeks, I guess. But if we could get a 40 or 50 lap run here, I think we could get back in it.
Matt, you got that penalty. Looks like you served it. You're back in the hunt right now. You've got the team calm back down. Everybody ready to go?
Oh, I think they were calm. I was trying to get calm because I couldn't figure out exactly what the penalty was for, but I got it figured out now. You know, we beat the paddle just a bit too early, I guess. So, yeah, it's all taken care of. We're back on the lead lap. We're back in business, and hopefully we can make something of it.
All right, buddy, you got 82 laps to go. Have a good run.
Thanks.
Matt Kenseth, a 23-time winner in NASCAR Busch Series throughout his career. 2 wins this year for Kenseth at California and Texas. Back with a restart at Homestead in just a moment. Back at Homestead, Florida, the Ford 400 here. We have 81 laps to go. Kevin Harvick trying to hold on and win it. Completing caution number 10 on the night. The Ford 300, 300 miles, 200 laps here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. And Harvick will lead him down. How about Mark Martin in the 5 car? Martin in the Chevy back behind him. Jeff Burton back behind him in 3rd spot. Those top 3 drivers have combined for 105 NASCAR Busch Series wins. Talk about a lot of experience. Whoa! Bottom of the track troubles down there. 3 wide, 4 wide down. There's Keselowski is down there as they try to go sailing by the 36 car of Jeremy Clement.
Well, they're going for that lucky dog, Jerry. They're trying like crazy to be the first guy to get up there, and they're all getting loose and sideways.
Well, it looked like what happened was Kyle Krislov had a problem getting going, and that just bottled everybody up behind him, and finally got out of the way there. Close call.
That portion of the racetrack, Andy, at the very bottom on the exit of turn 4 is very flat down there. So when I see them 3 and 4 wide down there, I know there's not much grip. That makes me nervous right there.
79 laps to go. Kevin Harvick, the leader. Mark Martin in 2nd place in the 5 car. I was listening to his radios.
Seems like the track's clamped down now. The balance is beautiful right now, but you know, I wouldn't count on, if it's made that much of a change, I wouldn't count on it staying. So, you know, I don't know if we want to take a chance on going too far or not, because you can't do nothing sideways, but we definitely gotta combat it, you know.
And for Mark to say his car is balanced speaks volumes for how hard this team has worked and how far it's come from the beginning of this race. Mark was saying he was really loose, and we'll get back to that momentarily, but there's caution on the track.
Again, caution on the racetrack, the 11th one tonight, as the yellow flag is waved once again by Kevin Moss. You see Kevin trying to get him woed down coming out of turn 4. Pace car will pull back up and pick up Kevin Harvick. 77 laps to go. Now what do you do, crew chief?
Boy, you get down in the middle part of this run, you got to be thinking about coming down pit road. I'm sure most of these guys are going to key off Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick stays out. These top guys may stay out with him, but this might be a time to duck down on pit road.
Yeah, this is a little touch and go to stay out right now. That'd make me a little bit nervous. They're getting pretty close where they can make it on field if they get down pit road pretty shortly here.
Shane Wilson on top of the pit box there. He's calling the shots for Kevin Harvick, as he has for all 6 of Harvick's wins this year.
It looks like they're passing on pit road.
So they will stay on the racetrack. We'll take a quick break and come back with the green flag at Homestead in just a moment. Back at Homestead-Miami, here is the debris that brought out the caution flag. A metal bar laying on the racetrack. You see the safety guys picking it up right in the front straightaway. Bringing out caution number 11 here tonight at the Ford 300. Well, Monday Night Football on ESPN continues next week in the thin air of Invesco Field at Mile High as Vince Young leads the Tennessee Titans in the battle against Jay Cutler and the Denver Broncos. Monday Night Football on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern Time. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown. Aerial coverage from high above Homestead-Miami Speedway, courtesy of our good friends at Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR, helping NASCAR drivers get to the finish line for over 50 years. Pace car pulling away. Kevin Harvick is the leader, but Mark Martin, as you heard a moment ago, his car very balanced. Watch for that 5 car to get a little racy here in these final 75 laps.
Well, as Mark Martin said, he's pretty happy with his car right now, Jerry, but you know, the thing he's got to contemplate is keeping up with the changing track conditions. Andy, it sounded like he was a little bit nervous to make some adjustments because the car is so good right now.
But he's won a lot of these races. He knows that you've got to have the car right at the very end of the race. And if it's perfect right now, he's anticipating that change. Sometimes it's hard to make that change when you got a really good car, but that's how you win races. You've got to predict that, and you got to just go for it.
Brett?
Andy, we were talking to Mark earlier today. Remember, he was talking about how loose his race car was. He said, you just can't drive it. I couldn't qualify it, and it's going to be loose starting the race, but it's going to be a good race car. What exactly was he talking about? Because he sounded miserable when we first started talking to him, but he said it's going to be a good race car.
Well, he sounded like he did. He knew the car was going to be loose qualifying. He knew it was going to be loose at the beginning of the race, but he knew that it would do this. It would get good when the track got cool. He's smart enough to know he's run so many of these races that he knows that this is when he needs his car good, and to have it there, he's got to be loose at the start of the race.
And I'm just glad Brad got a comment in without the caution flag coming out. Every time he opens his mouth, we get a yellow flag here. Now, here's what's happening with the track temperatures. It's coming down, guys.
Oh, right now, this is very important right here. They started the race at 80 degrees of track temperature. Now it's dropped 10 degrees, Andy, and as you well know, that hooks the track up, makes the car tighter.
Well, what Mark's talking about, he's kind of anticipating that track cooling down maybe another 10 degrees, 5 or 10 degrees, and that'll make the car even tighter yet. If it stays there at 70, then his car will stay good, but he knows it's not going to do that. So, his car looks good right now, though.
And here is the battle for 10th in the point standings. The 17 of Matt Kenseth right in front of the 7 of Mike Wallace, and we've already told you how important it would be for Mike and this race team moving ahead to say he had a top 10 points finish, and Mike is driving the wheels off his Chevy trying to get on the inside of Kenseth.
Oh, he really is, and Mike's doing a great job behind the wheel right now. He's going for that 10th place, but I'll tell you what, if he can hold off Kenseth, he's had a heck of a night tonight, that's for sure.
Battle for 6th position, our pole sitter tonight, David Reagan, who leads the Rookie of the Year standings in the 6th car. Now he has taken the 6th spot away from David Rudeman in 7th. As you watch this battle, let's check in where Jamie is caught up with another one of our open wheel aces, Sam Hornish Jr.
That's right, Doc. Speaking of rookies, he is out again. That wasn't the first time you hit tonight, Sam. What happened to finally put you out?
You know, just not a good night for the Kodak Dodge. Everything was going pretty good early on, and you know, we had a car that was really good over the long run, but you know, so many yellows, you know, you don't get a chance to do that. You know, when Steve Wallace spun, I got in the back of, I think, the 33 car and pushed the hood down, which wasn't actually bad. You know, it actually gives you a little bit more downforce, so that wasn't too bad. But you know, Todd just got up there and got loose and spun, and I thought he was going to stay up by the wall, so I tried to go down, and you know, lo and behold, he came right across in front of me. So not a very fun night for us, but we got some practice in. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be a little better.
That is the good news. He's going to make his second Cup start tomorrow. Doc, he's won here 3 times in the IndyCar Series. Perhaps better luck tomorrow.
And we certainly hope so for Sam Hornish, because he has certainly been a great talent in open wheel racing over the years. Less than 70 laps to go here at Homestead-Miami. David Reagan in the 6th car holding down the 5th position. Casey Mears in the 24 back behind him. As you look at the 6th car for Reagan, let's check in with Dave.
Yeah, Doc, and I wanted to update our pole sitter from the start of the race. He had a tight race car, he had a loose race car, and crew chief Mike Kelly tells me they found sort of the neutral ground right now, but he has been saving this car till the end of the race. In fact, at the start of the race, they told him, remember, get to lap 175 before you really start racing. Now, one of the reasons why they want to save this race car, it's one of the only new race cars that Reagan's been given all season. Remember, he's a rookie, and usually you get some of the leftovers. This is a brand new one that is fast.
Yeah, Dave, unlike what happens in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, because after the race here Sunday, those cars will be obsolete, no longer be used. These cars will be back for 2008 and beyond in what will become the NASCAR Nationwide Series.
Oh, they really will, Jerry. And this is a great run for David Reagan tonight. And if he can get a good snapshot of how this car is performing here, he can carry that momentum on the next year. So, you know, if this car runs good, Andy, you know, it gives him a lot of confidence for next year.
He's got one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now, and just watching his lap time. And I'm sure he qualified on the pole, so he had a good car for qualifying. To have his car right now, these guys have probably had to adjust on it a little bit. Looks like they've done a good job with it, and he's starting to come back to the front again.
We told you that when the night began, 4 of the 6 winningest drivers in NASCAR Busch Series history were entered in this race, and how much talent was in the field and how good they would be. Has the cream risen a little bit? Take a look here. Mark Martin, the winningest driver in the NASCAR Busch Series, running in 2nd right now. You see Kevin Harvick, who's 2nd all-time in wins, is our leader. And Jeff Burton with 26 wins being shown in 3rd spot. And Matt Kenseth, who is coming and got that lap back after having a tire issue, got back on the lead lap. And our in-race reporter, Matt Kenseth, in the 17 car, now trying to make his way back toward the top 5. Up front, here comes Jeff Burton on the outside to take the pass or make the pass on Mark Martin.
Now, this is what Mark Martin's talking about. He needs to keep up with the changing track conditions with his car. And evidently, his car is off just a little bit. But, Andy, a little while ago, I saw him getting loose instead of getting tight.
Well, you know what I see right now? He saw that 29 car go around him on the outside, and he says, hey, I think I'll try that. He's been right on the bottom. We talked about him being a bottom feeder. Now he looks like he's going to try this groove that Jeff Burton's trying. He's moving the car way up on the racetrack now and see if that'll work for him.
It's a good move, because if somebody outrun me in the top side, you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to try it. And if he's loose, like it looked like he was a little while ago, going to the top of the racetrack is actually going to help his car. But now he goes right to the bottom again, just as we said that. So he's pretty comfortable there at the bottom of the track, that's for sure, whether it's tight or loose.
Drivers are creatures of habit, I guess. Mark Martin, if you've won 47 times on a NASCAR Busch Series car, you're going to stick to those times because you're pretty darn good. And how about a guy they're chasing tonight after 137 laps? Kevin Harvick, a 6-time winner already here in 2007. Welcome back to the Ford 300 NASCAR Busch Series season finale at Homestead-Miami Speedway. There have been 803 races, including events in 3 different countries. Over the years, this year, Mexico and Canada, 19 different driver champions. Carl Edwards, a 19th champion, crowned here in 2007. 15 owners champions. Richard Childress is the 2007 champion. By the way, the 4th time that Richard Childress Racing has become the owners champion in the NASCAR Busch Series. There is the owner champion car, the 29, driven tonight by Jeff Burton. He shared the car with Scott Wimmer throughout the season. Jeff Burton, a 4-time winner in 2007. Here is the driver's champion. Carl Edwards, what a year he's had for Roush Fenway. Dominated the first half of the season here in the NASCAR Busch Series.
Yeah, you said the key thing, Jerry. He dominated the first half of the season, and halfway through he had tons of problems. He ended up winning the thing, but he's having problems a little bit again today. The car's still not handling.
Talking about a bright future for the series. How about potential Rookie of the Year candidate, the 6th car, David Reagan, Reagan holding a 30-point advantage over Marcus Ambrose in the Rookie of the Year point standings. And Reagan, who was the pole sitter tonight, hanging tough there in 5th spot and giving Denny Hamlin all he can handle as he battles Hamlin for 4th.
He's had one of the fastest cars watching this lap times. And if he can get by this 20 car, I think he can maybe run these other guys down.
Well, this is a good time in a race for David Reagan right now. This race has settled in just a little bit. He doesn't have cars all around him. He can stay focused and learn a little bit from Denny Hamlin in front of him, who's won some races. And just, make good laps and give his crew good feedback.
Dave?
And the tough part for Reagan right now, guys, is they told him, you are best up top. Stay up top. Whatever you do, run up top. The 20's right in front of him and will not get out of that high line. So Reagan's had to start peeking down low, and that may not be where that 6 car is best.
So you're saying Denny Hamlin's got squatter's rights up there on that top lane. He's going to have to find another way around. Looks like he's trying that now.
Oh, that's the tough part, too. If a guy's glued to the top of the racetrack, and it looks as though at this track, with that top lane being so fast and the momentum these guys can carry, it's tough to pass on the bottom.
Back up front, Jeff Burton, who started back in 30th position now, has taken the 29 car all the way to the front. Burton has led the last 7 laps. Let's bring you up to speed on the lead cars as we head down to Mike Massaro.
And Doc, in a recent radio exchange, Mark Martin said the one car that he was really afraid of, the 29 of Jeff Burton. He said he was awfully free, could do whatever he wanted with that race car on the racetrack. Although Jeff Burton has contradicted that a little bit, just radioed in saying he's getting a little bit tight. Let's go to Dave.
And that's a report for the 21 car too, Mike. He will not turn coming off of the corners. This is a driver who's led 84 laps tonight and would love to get back in front. Mike?
This morning, crew chief Chad Walter told me that the 2 hours he spent with Mark Martin practicing that car earlier this weekend confirmed everything he had ever heard about Mark Martin, that he just elevates the level of competition of his own team. The team really rising to the occasion right now. Mark Martin very happy with the balance of that race car. Still, though, not sure if he can run with the 29.
Mike, Denny Hamlin has been good tonight in that 20 car. He just hasn't been great, and now he's still continuing to get lots of pressure from the rookie behind him, David Reagan. His one complaint is not enough horses down the straightaway. Looking forward to next year when they make a manufacturer change. He's hoping maybe to get a few more of those, according to what he said on the radio. And behind him, rookie David Reagan trying to find a way by. Reagan, again, a driver who's just happy to be here at the beginning of the year and has learned a ton. The biggest thing he told me this year is, I'm not having to spend my own money to do this. That's the miracle of my whole ride here, as he looks low once again, trying to get underneath that 20 car again, and Denny Hamlin will again win the race off of that corner. Jamie?
And behind that battle, David Rudiman, hats off to him, guys. What a season. It's been his first full season in Cup and Busch. He's worked his way up to 6th. Of course, he started 17th. David Rudiman happy with his car. He dodged a couple bullets and crashes earlier in the night, but he's working his way up, securing that 2nd spot in the point standings. Right behind him, Casey Mears, first time working with his new crew chief for 2008 in Cup, Alan Gustafson. So far, so good. He said he's real tight, so Alan came over the radio and said, hey, next stop, that's all we're going to need is one more stop. We're going to put your best set of tires for tonight, so you'll be feeling good. Look for Casey Mears to move up. Mike?
And right now, a ride of a lifetime for young Kelly Byers running inside the top 10. Hasn't said too much over the radio. Last thing he said, though, car is really beginning to come to him, and he's really adjusted to the racetrack. That's saying a lot. They had to start this car off awfully loose to begin the race, knowing that the track would change and become tight. They put a lot of responsibility on this young driver, and he's risen to the occasion. Shannon?
Well, Jamie McMurray was certainly looking forward to getting his Busch car here at Homestead. His last race here was back in 2004. He finished 2nd. Now, Jamie's been battling this car all night long. First it was loose, then it was tight, now it's loose again. Right now, he's just telling his crew chief that he doesn't have any speed, looking for a little bit more grip. Expect to see that car come down on lap 175. Dave?
When Brad Keselowski made that pass, Shannon, he got what he'd been asking for. In fact, he just radioed, if I could just get some clean air, I'd be in good shape. The guys in front of me are killing me. Well, Brad, you got the clean air. Go get them.
Thank you very much, guys. Great update on the lead cars. Jeff Burton, by the way, up front. Burton, a 4-time winner this year, and 3 of his 4 wins have come on 1.5-mile racetracks. Another one of the cars running well up front. How about Jason Leffler in the Toyota? He began the year, and how about Toyota led the very first 2 laps of the season at Daytona because he qualified on the outside of the front row. And by the way, he did give Toyota their first and only win thus far in Busch competition back at the end of July at O'Reilly Raceway Park in Indianapolis.
Boy, okay, this team has been really good all year long, Jerry. They got the car handling great all the time. We talked all year long, Andy, about this car having so much horsepower, these Toyotas, and it's really showing in the Busch Series.
That's the key thing. I'm surprised, actually, they haven't taken more advantage of that horsepower advantage they've got. So maybe they can here. They've got some good cars out there running right now, and you know, maybe get a good top 5 finish here to finish the season.
Now let me ask you a question here. Do you think it was a mistake, Burton and Martin and Harvick and all those guys staying out that lost caution?
Well, can I get back to you?
Well, it looks like they're going to have
to be.
Yeah,
well, they're not going to stay out much longer.
It looks like they're going to have to hit pit road pretty shortly, and the guy who might win out is Matt Kenseth, who pitted. And,
yeah, he's sitting in 15th spot right now, and these guys are going to have to come down pit road in about 5 or 6, 7 laps, and Matt can stay out for probably another 35 laps. So we're going to see. Now, we haven't had many green flag runs, so I don't know if they're going to make it that far or not, but we might see it here.
This could be the money stop. Then if we stay green, these guys, these leaders are going to have to pit under green here. 5 to 6 or 7 laps. Burton, we told you how good he's been on 1.5-mile tracks. 3 of his 4 wins have come on 1.5-mile tracks, and Busch's only Cup win this year coming at Texas on a 1.5-mile racetrack.
Boy, take a look at this. All these leaders are being shown without any fuel. They're, you know, probably another 2 or 3 laps are going to hit pit road. They're out of gas right now.
They're running on empty.
Well, they are. And the thing I like, I mean, I'd love to be in Kenseth's shoes right now, knowing that he can run 35 more laps or something like that and have that option. If a caution play comes out, he can stay on the lead lap.
Now the top 9 cars. Now Kenseth moving into 10th, by the way, all pitted on lap 87. You see Kenseth there in the 17 car being shown, you know, back in the pack in 14th position. He is 10th in the point standings after moving by the 7 car of Mike Wallace. We're talking about pit stops. The top 11 cars on the track right now, last pitted on lap 87, so their tanks are essentially a dry.
Well, they really are. And if they don't get a caution like right now, they're going to be in trouble because they're going to go a lap down. And boy, look at Jeff Burton right up against the wall, flirting with the disaster. I saw that debris coming off the car because he was so high up against the wall.
Yeah, he's trying to race Mark Martin has been, I've watched his lap times. He's been gaining a little bit on this 29, then he loses a little bit. It's like these guys are searching for their line, and Mark Martin's just trying to find a better groove here.
7 or 8 hundredths of a second. That's all the differential between Burton and Martin. They're in the Martin in the 5 car, essentially identical laps as they are getting ready for their what could be their final stop of the day, as they will make it under green here in a couple of laps.
One thing that makes it tricky on this green flag stop is they've got a lot of caution laps in here, and so they can't. It's hard to figure how much mileage you're getting there.
Well, the first one to blink, Casey Mears headed down pit road to you, Jamie Little.
And he's going to be a couple laps ahead of the leaders. Casey Mears coming in for 4 tires, as I mentioned, and they were going to be his best set of the night. They're going to make a little wedge adjustment. Full fuel for Casey Mears in this 24, guys. As we said, this is Kyle Busch's old team. He's now moved on. Last week was his last race with the team. They won at Phoenix. And it's an extended stop. They're having problems on this 24. The jack dropped, guys. Casey Mears extended time. He was looking for a good 12, 13-second stop. He got it out in 17.3, Doc.
Well, you hate to have a 17-second stop. Whoa, this 9 car gets a little loose getting on pit road. You hate to have those 17-second stops under green because you lose so much track time.
Oh, man, that's terrible when that happens. You're supposed to, you know, have those under caution so you can make up for it. But on a green flag, the crew guys that tell you it's got to be right.
Casey Kanan in front of Shannon.
Well, that's right. Casey Kane, a 2-time winner this season, struggling with that car, Doc. Says it can't even think about turning it. Very, very tight. They're going to make a 4-tire change. They're going to add some tape to the front of that grill as well. Fuel, Casey's down and away.
Much quicker stop for Casey Kane than Mears. You see the left side of your screen, Jeff Burton, by the way, going by the 33 car of Tony Raines to put him a lap down. And the 5 car of Mark Martin will come in and make his final stop.
Come on down. Come on down.
Chad Walter and company so impressed with Mark Martin's ability in the car. Let's see what they can do if they can impress him with their abilities on pit road on a green flag pit stop. Mike.
And Mark Martin wants the car freed up just a tick. They'll do it with air pressure. 4-tire change is expected and fuel on the 5 car. The team jumps off the wall, goes to work on the right side. This is the money stop. The win weighs in the balance here, depending upon how quick this pit stop could be as they swing now to the left side. 1 pump of the jack and the car is up. They complete their change here. 5 lug nuts are tight. They're off the jack and away. Let's go to Shannon.
Well, that's right, Mike Bliss in that 22 car. Of course, looking to stay in the top 10 in owner points, guys. He's looking for a solid run tonight. He's had some great runs this season, including a second at Memphis. He's down and away. Mike.
Here is Kevin Harvick on pit road. The car would not turn. They're going to increase the air pressure in the tire going on the right rear, decrease the air pressure in the tire going on the left rear. That should help the rear end of the car turn a little bit and hopefully keep Kevin fast on this track. He is off pit road. Mike.
And Dave Blaney continues his comeback after an early spin on the racetrack. They told him he had to work for it, but he still has a very good race car, a clean stop, and he's away. Blaney's still in contention for a solid run tonight. Jamie?
And David Brenneman started 17th, worked his way up all the way to 4th. He says he lacks grip in the center. They're going to make a track bar adjustment, fuel, tires, and some adjustments for that 99 car. He's down and away. Good stop.
Still waiting for Jeff Burton to make an entry. Burton, Denny Hamlin, David Reagan, none of those have been on. Eric Almirola. Down to Jamie for Jason Leffler on pit road.
And Jason Leffler saying he's real loose. They're expected to make a 2-tire stop. Those right sides off. They want to get him down and away. It's all about track position. Let's see if they change their mind. They did change their mind last minute. They're going to take 4 tires. Guys, they're trying to hold on to that 3rd spot in the points, but if Kevin Harvick keeps running well, he won't make it.
Here's Brad Keselowski in the 88 car. They will take on 4 tires. No adjustment. No, they'll take 2. They went for 2 and get him back on a pit road. Mike.
And Jeff Burton heads down pit road right now. The car's just a little bit tight. They're going to make a slight chassis adjustment and a 4-tire change to the Hollandian Chevrolet. Team going to work on the right side now, swinging around to the left side. Jeff Burton's team being as quick as they possibly can. This is one of the fastest race cars on the track, and they do not want to mess it up here on pit road. A clean stop, he's away. Shannon.
Well, Mike, last time Jamie McMurray raced here at Homestead in the Busch Series, finished second, running in the top 10 all day today, looking for another solid finish. 4 tires, Jamie's down and away.
And Shannon, the 20 car of Denny Hamlin hits pit road now. Pit road speed 45 miles per hour, inching his way down. He has said, my car is tight, meaning it's hard to turn in the corners. We'll see what they try to do to it at this point. Looks like they're going to make a track bar adjustment. It's running hot, too. It's been doing that most of the evening. There goes the wrench in the rear window to make that track bar adjustment. It will adjust the chassis to help that car turn better. They'll go for 4 fresh tires. A little slip going to the back. Tire changer gets back up. No time lost. Lugs on the car, and he is off pit road. Shannon.
Well, Mike Wallace, another driver looking for a solid finish today. He's looking to get in that top 10 in the points. Coming into this race, he was 14 points ahead of Matt Kenseth. Able to do that right now. Is looking for a solid run today, guys. He finished this race 25th last year. As his guys go to work on that car, 4 tires for Mike Wallace. He's down and away.
6 car, trouble trying to get on the pit road. David Reagan slides.
Get it rolling if you can. Get it rolling.
Our pole sitter was the leader.
Yellow's out, yellow's out.
We talked about how tricky pit entrance was, and you saw it has bitten the guy who was leading the race. David Reagan trying to hustle on the pit road. Damage on the rear of his Ford, and that will bring out the caution flag.
Keep going, keep going.
And boy, this is huge from Matt Kenseth. He's going to put almost everybody a lap down right now of the good running cars up front. What a deal.
Jack Roush watching his young driver have trouble. You see in the Matt Kenseth, there's a 17 car who's now being shown in 3rd position. Remember, Kenseth pitted on lap 124. Stephen Light, by the way, is the leader. There's the 90 car. He had been in on lap 114, the Robert Yates machine. Let's show you what happened a moment ago to David Reagan, who was being shown as the leader, trying to come on the pit road in a hurry.
Well, guys, he just hustled on pit road, and this is a very narrow, slick pit road. He goes to turn it and loses it right at the entry of pit road. And we have seen this a lot in different types of racing. The Indy cars have spun out here many times. And, boy, it's a tough way to get into pits here. You got to be very careful, though.
And he just spun it again on the racetrack here.
Set a right rear tire. Coming to you. Come to us.
He probably flat spotted that right rear tire on that first spin, and then it blew out on him. See it here coming apart. It's going from bad to worse now for David Reagan.
Boy, when one thing happens, Andy, your whole day comes apart. I'm just getting ready to comment about how far they're running on fuel. Great fuel mileage out of these Yates engines.
Here's the follow-up on the racetrack, trying to hustle back around the pit road, and you talked about flat spotting that right rear tire, and you see it just comes apart there after he had flat spotted it, and he spun it again on the track over in turn 3.
And you got to believe, Andy, when he hit the end of pit wall, the quarter panel must have been jammed down into the right rear tire, cut the right rear tire right away, and now he's going to have a tough time finishing the race.
One of the big losers here, though, is Kevin Harvick. He's one of the guys that pitted too under that green flag. He is down a lap. He won't be able to make this up. I mean, he'll be able to start in front of the leaders when they make their pit stop, but you've got the 29 car, Jeff Burton. He's on the lead lap. Mark Martin stayed on the lead lap.
We're hearing there may be a penalty on the 21 car, Dave?
Yeah, Doc, when they made their pit stop, as Kevin Harvick was exiting pit road, one of his tires was rolling away from the wall across pit road. Now, one of the crew members was able to save it, but he left pit road with equipment, as the rule book goes, more than halfway across his pit box. So they were getting ready to bring them down pit road. I think I got this right. There's been a lot going on down here. I think they were getting ready to bring him down pit road for a pass-through under green, and when the caution came out, now they'll make it a start at the tail end of the longest line penalty. And in which case, they're going to come down pit road and put on tires since they have to start at the back anyway.
Watch the top of the screen. Let's watch for the equipment. Watch the tire. Got to be in the box. There it goes, behind the car.
Okay, that tire has got to be, this tire here has got to be on the inside half of that pit box before the car can leave, and that's why they got the penalty. So I guess maybe he got a good break by getting the caution, be able to serve that penalty now under caution.
What do you think? You agree with that rule?
Yeah, I do agree with it.
Do you really?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that they ought to keep that equipment out of the way. You don't want this tire out there in the way.
Caution number 12 on the night. 29 laps to go here. Stephen Light, the leader. Kevin Harvick at the back of the pack. Our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series Ford 300 at Homestead-Miami Speedway being brought to you by Ford F-150, built Ford tough. By Crown Royal Blended Canadian Whiskey, it's about quality, not quantity. And by NASCAR Hot Pass, only on Direct TV. Moonlight over Miami, actually over Homestead-Miami Speedway, and laps are winding down, and boy, this is setting up to be some kind of shootout here after the 12th caution flag. Leader David Reagan spinning, catching the sand barrels at the end of pit road, and there have been cars out on pit road just showing now 12 cars in the lead lap, and Stephen Light, the young man who won at Kentucky earlier in the year in the 90 car, is the leader.
We're going to see this shuffle up now. You got these guys, the 90 and the 17. All these guys are going to have to make a pit stop here. It's going to change that back, the track position back for Mark Martin and for Jeff Burton.
Boy, those two had such a good car. They're way out front, just about the lap Stephen Light, and able to keep themselves on the lead lap. Boy, I tell you, that it's great for Kenseth, though. Even though the good thing about this, these guys didn't go a lap down. That could have happened, and they're in good shape right now. 80 laps they ran on field. That's a long time.
Well, they had a lot of caution laps in there.
20-year-old Stephen Light, a winner in Kentucky. His Ford will lead him down the pit road here with just 27 laps to go as we head down to Shannon.
Well, Matt Kenseth, this caution is exactly what he needed. He was not going to be able to make it to the end of the race on fuel. And remember, guys, he was 31st all the way back in the field after he spun out. Was the lucky dog, has climbed back up to 3rd, comes down pit road. They're going to take only 1 can of fuel and 4 tires. Mike?
A lot of debate over the radio between Eddie Pardue and Greg Biffle. Weren't sure if they wanted to give up the track position and stop. They were going to gamble, and at the last minute changed their mind. They came down pit road, 4 tires and fuel. Dave?
4 tires for Stephen Light, Mike. He also got a track bar adjustment for a race car that was a little bit loose. Carl Edwards also on pit road for 4 tires as well, guys.
Race off of pit road. Carl Edwards will win that one. Stephen Light back us position. You see Biffle up 1. Kenseth, you heard the roll of the dice there, all the way back from 31st spot. If you just joined our coverage due to a cut tire, Boyer is there, Hamilton Jr., Raines, and McDowell losing a couple of spots. There's the race off. You see Edwards very close with Light, the youngster. Biffle, the former Busch champion. And this caution brought out by the guy who was leading the Rookie of the Year standings and the race. Problems for David Reagan. Jamie?
I was just talking to him about those Rookie of the Year point standings. He's not worried unless Marcos Ambrose jumps in the top 10. But, David, what happened entering pit road?
Well, I was just trying to get all I could. That's one of the things that I've been working on as a rookie, just trying to get all I can, entering pit road, on pit road, just trying to, help me for Sunday and for the next week. So just got down too hard, downshifted too late, and wheel hopped the car, something that you probably shouldn't do at a Miami, something that happens at a road course or something. But very disappointing. The Discount Tire Ford Fusion was extremely good tonight. Mike Kelly and all the guys did a great job, and we'll have to learn from it. We can fix this thing over the winter. It's a really good car, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Well, it's been a productive season for David Reagan. His crew packs up, but you can bet he's going to keep his eye on this rookie chase, Doc.
Impressive young driver. His dad, Ken Reagan, former Cup and ARCA Series competitor for many years, and following in his father's footsteps, a lot of talent there. Well, they've cycled through the pits, and now Jeff Burton being shown as the leader at the front of the field. Mark Martin behind him. Then the guys who came off of pit road, Carl Edwards and company.
All these guys are going to have to start back in the field, though, because these other cars are on the tail end of the lead lap. They're going to be about 20th spot here on this restart. I mean, actually about 10th or 11th spot on the outside lane on this restart.
See the 29 car, Jeff Burton. You see where he is. He is the leader back in that group of cars. So lots of traffic in front of him. It'll be 24 laps to go when they come around.
He'll be racing hot and heavy back there in the middle part of the field.
Yeah, usually you see the leader up front, but this time the leader's in the middle of the pack. And you know what? Take him any way you can get him. I don't care where I'm running as long as I'm leading this thing. But he's got to be careful. They're all over the place, and they're going to be running hard with only 25 laps to go.
Only 25 laps to go in the season, not just the race. And these guys say, you know what? I need to make a statement here. Some of these young drivers you talked about at the top of the show, some guys need to get good finishes, need to win races, need to make a statement for 2008. Here's your shot. Here they come. Green flag at Homestead-Miami. Burton in the middle of that gaggle as they head down to turn one.
Boy, Burton just needs to be careful and pick off one at a time. Whoa! You see that 10 car get loose of Blaney up the top of the racetrack.
They're still trying to dodge you back there.
Yeah, boy, it really stacks up when that happens.
Stacking up by him. There goes Biffle by, Boyer by, Kenseth after making that pit stop in the 70 car. Also having his issues. That's Mark Green.
It's more like precision driving.
And now Blaney, he went in the corner, got real loose on the entry of turn 2, and he doesn't know if he's got a tire down or if the tire pressure just has not come up yet. So he's driving a little easy right now until he figures it out.
Mark Martin's right there on that 29 car, Jeff Burton. These guys are trying to race for this win. Not many laps to go. They can't wait too long.
Oh boy, this is a hard thing to do when you got all this traffic you got to negotiate, and you got the second place car right on your bumper, and you're all jammed up behind other cars.
Mark Martin trying to find a groove up high. The 24 car there is Mears. Got to be careful not to creep in beside him if he doesn't see. Now he falls in right behind Mears.
Where do you go now? Look at Mark Martin. He's got to run here.
Does Burton go downstairs? Boy, very close. Martin almost came down on Krusaloff there. Now, the 29 car Burton follows the 9 of Casey Kane through on the inside.
Okay, here comes Mark Martin with another run off turn 2. Got all this traffic to deal with here.
And you know, he's been awful good in the bottom of the racetrack, and that's where he's got to run right now, because at 24, Casey Mears has got the top of the racetrack locked up. But there's not much he can do right now.
Okay, here goes Mark on the outside.
Mark trying to follow Mears down. Remember, these are teammates. Those are 2 Hendrick cars.
He's saying, okay, Casey, get going here.
Carl Edwards, the newly crowned Busch champion. Here's Carl. He's watching this battle for the 3 Chevys. Guys, it's the Ford 300. I want to win this thing for Ford, and I'm back here trying to find some room to get through.
And Mark Martin's going, come on, man, get out of the way. I'm trying to win a race right here. And they are all piled up right here. Boy, you talk about arrow loose, Andy. This situation right here, it make a car so loose, it's unreal when you got them all knotted up together and you don't have enough room to negotiate. Move that car around.
And look at Carl Edwards. Then Matt Kenseth's coming into the picture here, too. He's got those 4 fresh tires. He just came off pit road.
But boy, Burton's got him where he wants right now. He got to the top of the racetrack. Jeff Burton did, and that's the momentum up top of the racetrack. Look at this now. Now he clears Casey Kane, and this is exactly what he needs.
Here comes the 5 code. Our Mark Martin, a 47-time winner in NASCAR Busch Series. Mark Martin has led 8,002 laps in NASCAR Busch competition, but has not led in 2007 in 4 prior races, and he has not led here today. But folks, It's far from over. Here comes the 5 car on the bottom of the racetrack.
And boy, Jeff Burton just trying to get this thing to settle in right now, get the pressures built back up. And if these guys weren't veterans, they could have probably not got through that pack, but they were patient.
They can't settle in now. There's 19 laps to go. We got to race hard for this baby.
Oh, right now it's hammered down. I mean, you got the top 3 cars, Burton, Martin, Carl Edwards, with fast race cars, and you see Mark Martin a little bit loose. Dave?
And Rusty, what a huge break that caution was for Carl Edwards. Got him all synced back up and the ability to put on 4 fresh tires. That car has not been great tonight. Carl's called it bad as it goes to the high side with that fresh rubber. It may be the one to beat, but that's really the best thing it's got going for that is fresh tires.
Boy, right now, take a look at Mark Martin. I mean, he is not giving up at all. It looks like he's going to clear him here. Getting close, but boy, if they get side by side, you see Carl Edwards getting right up on the rear bumper. And when those 2 cars run side by side, it slows them down, lets the back guy catch up.
Looked like Mark Martin got just a little bit loose on the bottom side of the racetrack in 3 and 4. Looks like he's a little better here in 1 and 2.
Mark Martin trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack, the winningest driver in NASCAR Busch Series history. The guy who's led the most laps in NASCAR Busch Series hasn't won and hasn't led in 2007.
They got some more traffic to deal with going into turn 3 up here. They got some heavy traffic they're going to have to deal with. Look here.
How about that? Whoa! Martin gets loose and Edwards gets by.
Guys, Mark got loose on the bottom of the track. Jeff Burton got loose on the top of the track. And right now, it looks like Carl Edwards has got the best handling car at the moment.
Mark Martin's car is better in 1 and 2.
Settle in there. Settle in there.
But he's struggling in 3 and 4. Getting into turn 3, he's real loose. We saw that.
And you heard that spotter settle in. He's trying to calm Mark Martin down from a real loose car. So Mark's smart. He will settle in, breathe it, and try to get him again. We got 16 laps to go. There's enough time.
Here he comes, and is there time for Edwards, who suddenly his car has come to life with that last set of tires. Here is Edwards looking back from Jeff Burton, how close, about a car length and a half away.
But Jerry, this is what Jeff Burton needs right now. He just needs to settle in and get his rhythm back. Get working the top side of that track, get comfortable there, because Andy, it's been tough in these restarts.
He's had a better long run car. If they can run a few laps, he is a lot better than these guys. But man, he's got 15 laps to go. These guys need to get, if they're going to try to get on Jeff Burton, they better do it right now.
Byers in the 47, Allmendinger in the 41. Allmendinger up high and slips up in front of the leaders as they go by.
And boy, that's good for Jeff Burton, because it looked like Allmendinger was really going to race him hard. He got loose up against that wall and had to get out of the throttle. Let Burton just shoot straight on by. Well, now you see Carl Edwards just eating the bottom of that racetrack up right on that white line. And you know what? You do what your car will do. If it's going to run fast on the bottom, go for it.
How about Stephen Light, this 90 car? He's hanging in there in the top 5. He's got a break here with this caution. He's making good on it right here.
Rusty, you said it's time for young drivers to step up. This young man in the 90 car trying to drive to get a ride for 2008. Hanging on. They're about to keep his career moving forward.
And it doesn't make any sense if he doesn't get a ride. He won Kentucky. He's been consistent all year long. They're going to shut this number 90 team down at the end of the year. And boy, he's doing good right now. He's currently running 5th. And boy, the top 5 sounds good for this young guy right now.
One of only 4 first-time winners this year in Busch competition. Stephen Light won in his 38th career start at Kentucky Speedway. 13 laps to go here for the season.
Well, right now, Jeff Burton is last time by at 32.44 compared to 32.72. That's a seconds it takes to get around the racetrack, folks. We really don't deal in miles per hour much around here. And he is just pulling away from Carl Edwards. Basically, that's what that means.
Andy, you made the call. The longer they run, the better off Jeff Burton's going to be.
That's what I say. They had to jump on him early if they were going to get him, because he's really good in this long run. You see Mark Martin now creeping back up on this 60 car Carl Edwards. Mark Martin might be the only guy that has anything for Jeff Burton. It looks like Jeff's got this thing worked out. Man, what a great job he did working through that traffic, being patient and aggressive at the same time. I don't know how you do that, but he's done a great job of it. Just heard Mark Martin's spotter say, we got to go. 11 laps to go here, man. We got to get this thing done.
And Mark Martin saying, I'm doing all I can do right now. I'm wide open, guys. I'm giving the car what it's got. And he's the best at doing that. If Mark had more, he'd get it done right now.
Well, Mark Martin had the fastest lap on the racetrack last lap.
Apparently, he took that word go seriously.
He said, okay, I didn't know. I need to go now. I'll go.
Martin, only his 5th start this year. His best finish was 2nd, driving that 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports at Darlington.
And you said the key thing a little while ago, these 3 veterans working themselves through that critical part of that restart where they didn't crash, because they were one gaggle of cars at that moment right there. And that moment of the race, could have had a big crash, and that was a key moment in my eyes. 10 laps to go.
Martin on the inside, battle for second position. 2007 Busch champion Carl Edwards up high in the Ford continues to motor along and pull Martin by a car length off the corner.
Mark's weak spot's been 3 and 4. Right there you saw Carl Edwards beat him through that corner. Down here in 1 and 2 is where Mark Martin has been the strongest. If he can get by and clear this 60, he might have a shot at Jeff Burton.
Well, these Busch Series cars, compared to the NASCAR Nextel Cup cars, have a lot less horsepower. So they like this top lane, Andy. They like to stay wound up. If you get them on the bottom of the track, the motor's bogged down. They don't make as much run off the corner. So you see Carl Edwards on the top of that track. That really helps his car stay wound up. And now you see Jeff Burton just stuck to the top of the track. And I got to believe that's going to win you the race. You're going to run around the top side of this place.
Give it to him.
Martin looking again on the bottom of the racetrack where he is so good in that part of the racetrack, but he just can't quite get there. So much momentum for that 60 car up off the corner in turn 2.
Yeah, he's got to have that position to go all the way up against the wall off the corner. If he could ever get clear of Carl Edwards, I think he might have a shot at Jeff Burton. But he's got to get clear of this 60. He said, come on, Carl, give me a shot at it.
And boy, you hear the spotter going, come on, let's go, let's go. And you know, Mark Martin isn't the type of guy that needs to be wound up and coasted along. He's doing what he can do. He's doing what the car will take. He's not giving it any more until it gets maybe the last lap.
Jeff Burton is the leader. Edwards holding on to second spot. Martin third. If you just joined our coverage, Matt Kenseth, our in-race reporter, back in fourth spot, coming from 31st position and a lap down from a cut tire to being shown in fourth position. There's Kenseth at the top of your screen coming into the picture. Great run for him and the youngster Light, Stephen Light in fifth, Greg Biffle sixth, Boyer seventh, Raines eighth, Bobby Hamilton Jr. ninth, and Marcus Ambrose, another impressive rookie, in 10th spot. 6 laps to go. 6 laps remaining in the 2007 NASCAR Busch Series season.
You see Jeff Burton here. Kelly Byers is running right in front of Jeff Burton. And Jeff's not able to get by him. He's a lap car. But Kelly Byers got a good, strong car, and Jeff's not able to get him clear. So this might be slowing the 29 car down just a little bit.
It's got to be slowing Jeff down just a little bit, but it's not really bothering him too bad because he's still running really fast lap times. Although that last time by, Carl Edwards and Jeff Burton ran exactly the same speed. You know, Andy, I think the only way that Mark Martin can get around Carl Edwards, if he can get on his rear bumper and get him aerodynamically loose, get him wiggling so he can make the pass.
He might have something here if he can just hold this thing down in this corner without getting loose.
But take a look at this momentum on the top of the track.
Here comes a 17. He's loving this. Kenseth now pulls.
Still up there.
Pulls to within about 8 car lengths of this battle.
This is the best shot Mark's had right here.
All the way down on that white line in turns 1 and 2. Kenseth getting closer and closer, and Martin will make the pass.
Okay, he's only got 4 laps to go now, and he's going to try to reel in this 29.
And he's close to 2 seconds behind Jeff Burton right now. That's a long way to go to catch somebody. You see Jeff Burton coming off of turn 4. You see Mark Martin's finally cleared Carl Edwards.
Not going to let Carl get back up on that outer groove again. He's going to take that spot.
Well, that last time by, believe it or not, Jeff Burton was still 0.2 of a second faster than Mark Martin. These Richard Childress Chevrolets on these Busch Series tracks have just been fantastic. Making good horsepower. These cars handle good. Kevin Harvick, Jeff Burton. And now this 29 car won the Owners' Championship, and it looks like he's going to win this race today also.
Kenseth taking his shot at third position from Edwards. And remember, they've had their differences this year a little bit here with some frustration between these two teammates. And now Kenseth all the way on the bottom of the racetrack as he makes the pass. And just will he get right up in front of Edwards, and Edwards comes around by him, but this time again.
Oh, man, we had a green-white checker finish last time. Last night, we saw Kyle Busch leading the truck race, and he lost it on a restart. It could happen here.
I thought we was going to see these guys play nice, but doesn't look like it, does it? Looks like they're going at it.
Yeah, it doesn't look. They're eating each other's rear bumpers off. White flag.
One more lap.
White flag.
See why this 29 car is the owner's champion. They've had a great car all year long.
Richard Childress Racing trying to win their 13th race in 2007. He is the owner's champion. The NASCAR Busch Series owner's champion. Jeff Burton, 4 wins in 2007. He has 26 career victories. 3 of his 4 wins have come on mile-and-a-half trucks. And for the season finale at Homestead-Miami, Jeff Burton takes the win.
Good job. Great job, Jeff. Congratulations, guys. That's what wins championships.
Good man, Burton. Great job, bud.
You all guys down on that 29, Scott Wimmer, Jeff Burton, thanks, guys. You're champions.
Unbelievable day for him. The year is over. Next stop, Daytona.
Celebration ongoing. Pat Smith, congratulations to Pat and the entire crew. There they are celebrating as well they should.
That's right. They're saying we're the champions, and we showed this is the way to go out right here. Is just put it on them and say, hey, this is why we're the champions.
Andy, you climbed off that pit box twice as a champion. What is the feeling as a crew chief to know you have accomplished? You are the best of the best.
Boy, it is something else, Doc. I'll tell you. You know, when you do that, a year-long struggle like they've had, and perform like they have, and to take the trophy, the owner's trophy home, feels good for the crew chief and the whole crew.
Let's go ahead and visit with Pat Smith. Here's Dave Burns.
And he just breathed what I would call a sigh of relief. Was that because of all that traffic that was holding your driver up just a little bit? He commented on it.
Yeah, we had a little bit more there, but we just wanted to be nice and safe at the end. We had a little bit of room. Mark in the 16 and 17 got to be racing pretty hard there, so real fortunate. Holiday and Chevrolet finished off the season very nicely.
Can you believe what a season you guys have had? All those wins, Pat, and ran great most every time.
Thank you. Not really. It'll probably sink in here. It's been a wonderful season. You know, all the people at RCR that support this program, the 21 car and the 2 car will also just help bring our program together. And it's tough to take in, but we got some time to think about it now.
You got some time to celebrate. He actually just took off a shirt he's going to wear home because he has a feeling there might be some stuff thrown around in Victory Lane here real soon, Doc.
As well there should be. And as you saw the interview, you saw Kim Burton climb off the box. That's Jeff's wife. And Pat Smith on the top of the head as a congratulatory thank you.
Well, you talk about ending the year on a high note. The Owners' Championship, the last race, this team has done such a fantastic job. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that really ended the year on a high note. A lot of good guys showed what they could do. But this team right here, just fantastic.
I think it's cool that Jeff Burton drives his car in Victory Lane. He doesn't do all the burnouts and all that stuff. He's got the old school way. Just pull it in Victory Lane.
Act like you've been there before,
right.
And indeed he has. Take a look at our Crown Royal crowning moment here of the night. And it would be Jeff Burton making the pass. There's Jeff Burton, the 29 car, going up high and making the pass on his teammate in the 21 car, Kevin Harvick. Burton would lead 3 times or twice for 51 laps to take his 5th win in 2007 and his 27th of his career. What a way for Richard Childress to claim the owner's title in 2007, but to have his car go to Victory Lane in the season finale.
And Jeff Burton climbing from his winning race car, and talk about winning the championship in style, the owner's championship that is, with his 5th victory of the season, and the celebration is on. Lots of Busch beer flowing here, and wow, what a way to wrap up this championship. How important was it for you guys to say sayonara to the 2007 season with a victory?
Well, that's really exciting. I mean, obviously we you know, to win 13 races this year at RCR, and this team is the deserving team champions, and Scott Wimmer has done an awesome job this year. These guys are just awesome, man. Just a great year. Holiday Inn, just incredible. It really means a lot to me to win the last race of the Busch Series. I mean, that to me, I grew up wanting to be a Busch Grand National driver. That was my dream. And to win the last race with Busch being a sponsor, that really means a lot to me.
And he picks up his 27th career Busch Series win. But, you know, there were some anxious moments, it would seem, in that race. 10 car got loose, spun out in front of you midway through that race. What were you thinking?
Oh, no. You know, he was kind of stuck in space there. I didn't really have a lot of choices. I thought all I could do was slow down, and I had a lot of fun racing with Mark Martin. And, hey, this guy here's done a great job all year. A lot of fun racing with Mark Martin tonight. That was a blast, and it was just a good night. But he, there at the end, I didn't really understand how we were where we were, being a leader and everybody else tailing the lead lap, and I'm like, well, okay, let's just go. And it was fun. The 60 came up and made a good race out of it, and it was just a lot of fun.
And Jeff Burton's family standing behind him. Well, let's call in Scott Wimmer. Scott was part of this Owners Championship as well. What does this mean for you? You're here in Victory Lane. What does this mean for you to be part of this championship?
Well, it's just really exciting. And Jeff's done an unbelievable job, and it's just been a great privilege to drive for him and Mr. Childress, all these sponsors, Holiday Inn. Last year, Anheuser-Busch, they've been a big supporter of mine for a long time, and we're going to miss them. This is their series always, but we're looking to do the same thing next year, hopefully.
And as we look around Victory Lane, we're looking for Richard Childress. Here he comes. He's walking around the car, receiving his congratulatory comments from Jeff Burton and the rest of the team. The Owners Championship trophy is going to be presented to Richard Childress very shortly, giving a big embrace to Jeff Burton and Scott Wimmer and a handshake. Let's jump in here with Richard. Now, Richard, how satisfying is this for you? You had a tandem of race car drivers this year, a little inconsistency from one driver to the next, but you still get that owner's title.
Well, it's great. You know, it's a tribute to Jeff Burton and Scott Wimmer and this whole Holiday Inn race team. They just did such a phenomenal job this year. I'm just proud of them all, and can't wait to do a little celebrate.
And the celebration's going to begin. RC, if you can look right over here, the president of NASCAR, Mike Helton, coming in with a beautiful Busch Series trophy, the final Busch Series trophy. And for the champions presentation, we throw the microphone over to Mike Helton. And Mike, obviously, this is a pretty significant trophy, being the last Busch Series title.
It is, but you know, every trophy Richard's got, I think's pretty significant. But Richard, congratulations on your another Busch Series championship car owner title, and it certainly is good that you kind of wrapped up the Busch era of this series, winning the car championship. And congratulations, we're proud of you.
Thank you, Mike, and thank NASCAR. I mean, NASCAR has done, and Busch, you know, Busch Beer has been such a important part for this series to help us create some of the drivers that we have in the sprint now, and it's just unbelievable what Busch has meant to NASCAR for the years. Thank you.
And the owner's title, to win this with two different drivers, with Scott Wimmer and Jeff Burton competing on and off throughout the course of the season. What types of challenges did that present for you guys?
Well, I mean, you know, when you got two drivers like Jeff Burton, and tonight was proof him winning the race, and a great sponsor like Holiday Inn. Scott Wimmer, we knew we had to have a driver that could jump in there and get it done, and Scott just done a great job for us. Couldn't be prouder. It's so many people at RCR, I got to think. Mike Dillon, Will Lynn, so many, all of them, you know.
Well, congratulations. Richard Childress Racing picking up their 11th NASCAR championship, guys.
Exactly, Mike. 6 Cup titles. Now his 4th NASCAR Busch Series title and one in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Richard Childress. How about the effort by Jeff Burton tonight, by the way? From 30th to 1st, picking up his 5th win of the season, the 27th of his career. And how strong there is Kim Burton, Jeff's wife, giving Richard a hug. There's Will Lynn, the guy he was talking about back there. Andy, you worked with Will for a long time.
Yeah, I worked with Will. He's a big part of this organization, especially the Busch Series effort. He is the man over this whole thing. And, man, this has got to feel good for Will and Richard. They've been together forever. You can see how passionate he is about this.
And he's one of the longest-lasting employees, the original guys, with Dale Earnhardt Sr. and all the drivers they had for a long time. I don't know how many years it's been, but Will's been with this RCR organization for a long time.
All right, talk about history and how great this series has been for 26 years. The winningest driver in the history of the NASCAR Busch Series, Mark Martin, standing by with Jamie.
Well, he gave it a valiant effort to try to get it done. Mark, what did you tell me when I said, gosh, he got there so fast? What did you say about Jeff Burton?
He's old school. All those burnouts are juvenile, and I'm proud of him. Congratulations to Jeff Burton. It was awesome to race him for it. What I really want to do is thank Hendrick Auto Guard and Rick Hendrick Motorsports, and the fans. If they'll check out HendrickCars.com, you know, those guys are going to let me drive that car again 5 times next year. And, you know, if they give me cars like that, we might get a win. You know, it's a true honor to drive for Rick Hendrick and for such great people and a team like this. And I really wanted to get them a win. We got them 2 second-place finishes. I just couldn't get the deal done.
Mark, at 48 years old, you're putting it down like that with these boys in the Busch Series. How do you keep doing it year after year?
Well, if we'd have passed Jeff and won it, we'd have been putting it down. But, you know, we came up short. But I do have a lot of fire and desire, and I'm very fortunate that people like Rick Hendrick, you know, give me cars like that to drive.
Well, we're having a good time watching you. We'll look forward to those 5 races next year for Mark Martin in the Busch Series, Doc.
Well, how many great memories over the years does Mark Martin give us? And how about our champion for 2007, Carl Edwards. How about the somersault? There it is, folks. Carl Edwards, and he certainly is deserving as the crew celebrates as the 2007 NASCAR Busch Series Drivers Champion. The signature somersault. He did it 4 times this year, every time in victory lane, and now to win a first major championship for the young man from Columbia, Missouri. Let's go down to the championship stage and Alan Bestwick.
Thank you, Dr. Punch. This is always one of the more fun moments of the year when we get to award the championship trophy to a very deserving team. First, for congratulations on behalf of NASCAR, I introduce NASCAR President Mike Helton. Mike.
Thank you, Alan. And on behalf of all NASCAR, Carl, we're very proud of you. Congratulations. You made a lot of history this year, and congratulations on being the last of the Busch Series champion era drivers. And congratulations to you, your whole team, Jack Roush, and everybody that did such a wonderful job putting you in this position. We look forward to celebrating with you at the Busch Banquet here pretty soon. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Mike. And now for the formal presentation of the NASCAR Busch Series Champions Trophy, I introduce the Director of Busch Brands, Mr. Jim Gorsica. Jim?
Thanks, Alan. Carl, short leash here. On behalf of Anheuser-Busch and the Busch brand, I'd like to congratulate you on your first NASCAR Series championship.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
That is yours.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you.
You're gonna pick that up and give them a nice photo, and then we'll talk for just a second. There you go. Here you go, folks. There's your champion. He's tired because he just worked hard out on the racetrack. Carl, congratulations. Thoughts on a championship season?
Yeah, I need to lift more weights, I guess. I just got to say congratulations to Richard Childress Racing 29. They showed tonight why they won that Owners Championship. They're a great team, great competitors, and on behalf of my guys, I just can't thank the fans and our sponsors, Scott's, Office Depot, Dish Network, Coca-Cola, everybody for supporting us all year. It's been the wins this year were a blast. I thought we were going to get another one tonight. That was fun racing with Mark and Matt and those guys, but just can't thank everyone enough. And I'm here to tell you, if you got a dream, just keep on chasing it. Don't let anybody bring you down. Just keep on doing what you do.
At what point in this year did you begin to realize your dream of this championship might just happen?
I guess, right around Nashville when we were doing so great and we were winning, and we built up this huge lead, and I thought, man, it would take a heck of a bad second half to ruin this, and it would have. We just had an awesome lead in the driver's standings, and I really felt good right out of the gate at Daytona. Everybody did a great job. I mean, my guys, the last pit stop of the season, they got me out in front of everybody. I can't say enough about them, but once again, just the fan support of our sponsors, of Anheuser-Busch, for being here for 26 years, a Missouri company. It's very proud to win this one, the last Busch Series, and we're going to be back next year for the Nationwide Series, trying to do it again.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
How about we get Jack Roush to step in here for just a second? Jack, a NASCAR Busch Series championship once again for your race team, for your driver. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm really proud for Carl and for Ford Motor Company, for everybody that supported us. Scott's been there with us. A lot of good sponsors have been with us along the way, and Carl had Carter Norris, one of the guys that supported him before he got here, and we wouldn't have had a look at him if it hadn't been for Carter Norris. But a lot of good people stood behind Carl. A lot of good people stood behind me. We look forward to staying in the Busch Series next year. It's going to be hard to make the transition to Nationwide. Busch has been so great for all of stock car racing for so long. We're sure going to miss him.
Thank you, Jack. Jack Roush, Carl Edwards, this entire team, champions, 2007 NASCAR Busch Series.
Thanks a lot.
By the way, Alan, Jack Roush's co-owner there, John Henry, had a little team called the Red Sox, and they won a World Series. And now his race car team wins a national championship. How about Matt Kenseth? He sneaks into the top 10 on the final race of the year. He will finish 10th in the NASCAR Busch Series points. He finished 3rd in the race tonight. He's standing by with Shannon Spade.
Well, a third place finish from Matt Kenseth, but you certainly earned your money today, Matt. Talk about this team's efforts coming back from a lap down after you cut that tire.
Yeah, they did a great job. We had a good car in long runs, but it wasn't nearly as good as I really thought it was going to be. I really thought it was going to be one of the cars to beat. And we were off for about a fifth, eighth place car most of the day. So with pit strategy and some of the things that went on, we ended up getting a good finish. But I just want to take a quick second and congratulate all the champions, all the Busch champions. Carl did a great job this year, and Jeff and Scott and Richard and Owner's Deal, and of course Ron last night, and whether it's Jeff or Jimmy tomorrow night. So it is a Ford Championship weekend, and it's fun to be part of. But I wish I was racing for one of the championships.
Now you were driving with Burton and Martin right behind them, finished third behind them. You guys are the winningest drivers in the Busch Series history. What was that like?
Well, I think Kevin's ahead of us, but or not all of us, but Kevin, Mark, and Jeff are awesome. I mean, they really helped me a lot. You know, they're really my mentors when I first got into the Busch Series and in the Cup Series, and I owe a lot to both of them guys. And the race with them guys is really fun. It's really cool to look up and see both of them guys in first and second. We're able to just squeak by Carl there then and go up and kind of race by him. So that was pretty cool.
Well, very good effort tonight, Matt Kenseth. Good luck to you.
That'll wrap it up for 2007 for the NASCAR Busch Series. Jeff Burton, congratulations to you, the winner tonight, and you lead Richard Childress Racing and your co-driver Scott Wimmer to the 2007 NASCAR Busch Series owner's title. And how about Carl Edwards, the Roush Fenway operation, winning the 2007 NASCAR Busch Series Drivers Championship as the celebration is ongoing. Don't forget to join me, Jerry Punch, and all our crew tomorrow when we crown a NASCAR Nextel Cup champion. It's the Ford 400 at Homestead-Miami Speedway on ABC at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Coming up next, Rivalry Week, a great Atlantic Coast Conference showdown presented by Remington, number 17 Boston College at number 15 Clemson. Congratulations to our race winner, Jeff Burton, and our champion, Carl Edwards. What a year it has been for the NASCAR Busch Series. Thank you to all the teams, all the NASCAR officials, all the crew members for being so cooperative, and thank you especially to you, the fans, for allowing us to come into your living rooms with our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long, everybody, from Miami.